entertainment, sports, politics, current events, and we're giving it to you raw from the jaw. And we are On Point Media.
Hey, what's up, you guys? How y'all feeling, man? Hope y'all chilling in the building, man. Cause we is you did. We is. Yes, sir. Man, I'm your boy Squeaky Leaf the Entertainer.
And of course, you know, I'm your queen, Angel Lyric. Music.
You already start. You gonna start off this episode with the bull, huh?
No. Anywho, let's get busy.
Man, what's up? How you feeling, Angel Lyric?
You ask me how I feel. You just told me how I feel.
Good. How you feeling, dog?
Good.
How was your Memorial Day weekend?
Friday night was lit.
Crazy. Crazy. Yeah.
On Fremont. We had it cracking.
That's one for the records.
Yeah.
Friday on Fremont was popping. If you was in Vegas and you slid through, you know what's up.
We had people come from out of state.
Yes.
Come all the way from, what was they from? Missouri? St. Louis, Missouri. To see us again.
Yeah,
so that was exciting.
Texas.
Mm-hmm.
It was lit. It was definitely lit. Yeah, man. Well, I had a good weekend as well. You know what I'm saying? Like she said, Friday was lit. Saturday was cool downtown too. Mm-hmm. Sunday we had a private event. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my boy YA.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Big YA, LV Culture, you know what I'm saying? Had me slide through and DJ the event.
Yeah.
Very, very nice home over in the hills of Las Vegas. Yeah, nice little state, man. You feel me? But man, people don't want people knowing.
I just say Hollywood Boulevard.
Yeah, man.
They named it Hollywood Boulevard.
Oh.
That's what
we were at such and such. And
anywho, there you go.
Anyway, yeah, it was dope. It was a dope little event, man. It was cool. We did our thing, and yeah, we got some work tapping in with the boy YA. Hey, man, if y'all are in Vegas, y'all need, you know what I'm saying, advertisement, you need studio time, you know what I'm saying, holla at YA LV Culture, man, lvculture.net. Feel me?
YA the
poet, man. Yeah, man. So, man, we got a dope, heavy, real life topic going down tonight, man. You know what I'm saying? And man,
some shit I didn't even know.
And some shit that I went in researching from one angle, and the research took me a whole different way with it.
Yeah.
And it's like, whoa, opening our eyes on some whole other shit. You know what I'm saying? So if you don't know, man, we talking about the troubled youth in America, but it may not be from the angle
that we're looking from, the eyes that we're looking from as parents.
It was gonna start off your typical, you know, what's going on with these troubled youth, but it's taking a turn. But that's still the topic, the troubled youth in America, man. So before we get into that topic, I got a couple people that are gonna be tapping in tonight. I got a special guest tonight. We got Slow Mo, aka Doug, the artist Slow Mo, which is family to us, but he's also on this side as a profession. He also has his bachelor's in psychology, and he works as a youth counselor and in different group homes. So we're gonna have him jump in just a minute for just a few minutes because he got some arrangements tonight. But he gonna give us his perspective as a young man working in these type of facilities where he can speak firsthand to it.
Yeah, he's been there for a while.
Yeah, he's been doing it, since 2000, I think, 12, 13, something like that.
Oh,
since
he got back from college.
Yeah, we'll let him tap in and he'll give his perspective on that. Mm-hmm. But yeah, man, before we do that, real quick, sports rap, it ain't gonna be much to it. Baseball is baseball. Straight up. You know, I ain't gonna get into baseball like that until you just see clear spread wins across the divisions, or we get closer to some kind of all-star weekend playoffs, because it's just too many games. You feel me? But basketball, I know y'all sit back and thought it was finna go down. Boston Celtics was down 3-0. They came back swinging. They came back and even tied up the series. It was 3-3, went to a game 7 in the Garden. In the Garden. The Secret Garden. Game 7. Showtime. They got their ass whooped at home. Blew out. Banged on. Boop, beat, got. Miami Heat brought the heat, beating that ass. You know, I ain't gonna miss. Yeah, they whooped that ass, boy. So bye-bye to the motherfucking Celtics. And your Heat is in the front seat representing the East. You did. They facing off with the Joker. Jokic. And them boys in Denver. That's your NBA Finals, man. Game 7 going down, you did? That's popping off Saturday, 5 o'clock. The Finals, man, is what we've been, the granddaddy of them all. Denver versus the Celtics. I think it's going to be
the Celtics.
I think it's going to be. I mean, not Denver versus Celtics. My bad, y'all. Denver versus Miami. I think this is going to be Jimmy Buckets' one and only ring. I think Miami go win it in 7. Squeak said it. Miami in 7. Now, over into the hockey on the ice. You got the Stanley Cup Final going down, baby. Who go take that hardware? Who go kiss on the big silver cup? Is it going to be them Panthers up out of Florida? Or is it going to be the Knights that reign right here in Sin City? Las Vegas Knights. They chasing it. Vegas will be so motherfucking lit if they win that Stanley Cup. Every game that's been out here been on fire. You think it was a football or basketball game. Hockey fans going crazy out here. So that's your Stanley Cup Final. Florida Panthers, Las Vegas Knights. It's going down. Game 1, Thursday, 5:30. In Vegas. It's going down, baby. Game 1 of the NBA
this
Finals.
Weekend?
This Thursday, 2 days from now.
Oh, okay.
Game 1 in Vegas.
Well, I hope they come through Fremont on Thursday.
You know, it's gonna be lit all weekend. Game 2 will be on Saturday. So you know that's gonna be up. And that game 1 of the NBA Finals is in Denver.
Hey,
what's up?
I gotta stop him, y'all.
What's
He's
that?
just going into stuff so quick.
Well,
He didn't let me tell y'all how to get ready. Anything.
Well,
he didn't mention
I
anything
apologize.
about how I just make sure y'all got y'all roll up.
the only reason why I apologize.
This man right
because
here ain't
our
paying me
guest-
no attention to what I'm
apologize.
supposed to be doing.
Our guest has somewhere to be, so we only got him for a limited time.
Oh well,
So I'll-
your guests ain't even here yet.
They've just been
When they
notified
come,
to
then
come
we'll
on.
change it. This takes 5 seconds.
Okay.
Go put your kids to bed.
My bad.
You know, I always have to tell them to go put their kids to bed. Because you just
Yeah,
straight
we
into
always
sports.
go through that. Put them to bed.
Put them in
You was
somewhere.
finna say what? Put them in what? Put
In the
them in
cabinet.
what?
In the
Oh yeah,
cabinet.
it's finna go good with this topic. It's finna go good with
Get
where
your
you gonna put 'em?
drink. And make sure you rolled up.
What you
Now-
rolling?
Well,
What you rolling?
wherever they want to roll. They may want to roll cigarette or tobacco. They may want to choose tobacco.
Yeah, okay.
Hey,
We know what you on.
yes. Anyway, go on.
So it's that time, y'all. Like she said, go and get you a sip, tranquilizer, a shot.
Tranquilizer. You talking about me? I said go put the kids in the cabinet. He said go
cabinet.
He said go get a tranquilizer.
Man, I'm not dealing with you, man. Y'all know what's up, man. It's that time of the show, man. So tonight's topic, like we said, man, we talking about the troubled youth in America. And when we say we talking about the troubled youth in America, I know that all y'all have seen the videos, the YouTube videos, the shorts, the news, even the mass groups of kids running inside of stores doing smash and grabs, the blatant disrespect, knocking old people out, robbing the Kia boys. I mean, all these kids killing each other and killing adults. A lot of the violence is perpetuated and led by the youth. You know, let's just be real with it. You know, the youth is off the chain, and it seems like the violence and the type of violence and the acts of violence that they participate in is at an all-time high right now. Mm-hmm. And we're going to dig in and talk about that, but we ain't going to talk about it just from a, this is a problem. And do you know this? And have you seen this? No. Because as I start researching this and we start getting into it, we start to learn about a whole different side to this shit, a back end of it. And the back end is the TTI. Google that. The TTI.
Go Google that right now.
Google that.
Because this is something I just found out about.
The TTI is the Troubled Teen Industry.
Troubled Teen Industry.
Troubled Teen Industry. This is a thing. This is a $1 billion industry. $1.7 billion was made in this industry.
Oh wow! And
I got a special guest appearance that I'm gonna bring in, Slow-Mo, NFB Slow-Mo, who is a young man. My loved one, my stepson. Not only a hell of an artist, but also he works within the industry. And I want to bring him on so that he can speak firsthand from his take as a employee and a provider in that industry, and if he can attest and account to some of the research that we done, and to just give a different perspective from somebody that's actually inside. But when we found out about this TTI, oh man,
open that up, you can see who's in the room.
It brought a whole different level of need to highlight what's going on with our youth.
Wow.
Loud Leap in the building. What's up? What's up with it? Appreciate you coming in, man. Appreciate y'all. I'm finna go ahead and bring NFB Slow-Mo in, add him to the stream. NFB Slow-Mo, what it do, man?
Hey, what's going on, baby?
What's happening?
Hey.
Good.
What's up, mama?
Hi, baby.
Yeah, so tonight's topic, man, we started off, we was about to talk about the Troubled Teen just because there's so much shit going on. There's so many things going on, so many atrocities, so many just grave and just ill acts that's going on that involve the youth. You feel me? Where we just got to talk about this shit. But when we started to do the research, when I was doing the research on that, I started to also learn about TTI, the Troubled.
Did he know about this?
Teen, and I don't know, and you know, kind of indirectly, but directly work within the industry itself. But did you know about the TTI, Troubled Teen Industry, as a thing, as a whole?
As far as TTI go, I never heard of the actual term TTI, but as far as it being the industry for troubled teens, I always knew that. I've been in this field for shit. I want to say I started in 2013.
13, yeah, that's what I thought.
So since 2013, which is 10 years, I've been in this field for 10 years. It has for sure been a lucrative industry for private companies,
yes.
Which is all funded by the state or federally funded, depending on where you go. But it's a big time. Like some companies got stocks and shit. And
so that is when I start researching this shit. When we bring up my research, when I start researching it, it blew my mind. And the first thing that I thought about and compared it to was the prison industrial complex. Because you talking about it's not as much money, because with the prison industrial complex, you're talking about billions and billions of dollars. But the TTI, the Troubled Teen Industry, it brought in 1.7 billion as an industry. And yes, it's very lucrative. And I'm glad you made that point, because I know you're not going to be here long, but I want that to be noted and knowns, because we're gonna talk about that throughout the episode. You said that a lot of this, most of these is private companies, which I did the research, and that is true. These is private organizations,
And
non-profits, private companies, right?
And I guarantee you, there's some big entertainers and big people behind that.
And if they don't necessarily own them, like he said, they're definitely putting money and investing in the stock, just like they do in the prison industrial. Right.
Yeah.
So here's the thing: is these is private companies that are getting funding by the state and or the federal government, but these companies are not regulated when it comes to the certain things that are happening on a certain level, when it allows for certain disciplinary actions to be, implemented in their facilities.
So
they're not, the state's not coming in and just monitoring that shit.
So okay,
like they should.
Go ahead.
As far as regulation goes, the state can be regulated. They can be regulating and auditing all the time, right? Mm-hmm. But the company has the power to straighten shit out before an auditor comes. So they can, let's say, for example, a company who doesn't properly get groceries for their kids, right? Let's say just groceries alone. Mm-hmm. If I've experienced where kids have been complaining to auditors and the state license, so licensing is who cracks down on everything, right? You know what I mean? It's licensing that crack down on everything. You can bypass licensing by, let's say you ain't been feeding your kids for months properly, but as soon as licensing come, you got a stock fucking refrigerator making it look good, like y'all been feeding the kids, so they don't get hit.
Right then and there.
Yeah, so they don't get a hit on it. So a lot of these, so the state do be auditing. They send in their licensors, but at the end of the day, if the company gets whiff of a licensor coming through, they know how to fix that shit before they even get there. Just the same thing when it comes to simple shit like holes in the walls.
Right.
It's easy ways for these companies to make it look like they doing something for these kids.
Right. And
but one thing, but they don't be really doing it. Not only that, but you got a lot of it's a lot of crooked companies out there. I used to work for one, you know what I mean? And they get paid. They get paid. They get paid. I'm talking about, let's say, a group home like the ones I work in. My very first group home I worked at, called Rite of Passage, Sierra Ridge Academy. They take like 100 some odd kids at their group home. And it's built kind of like, I want to say, a YA type of situation.
Okay. Now, I'm glad you just walk with me real quick. So when I was doing my research, we got research from the American Bar Association, the New Yorker, and from the New York Times, and then just some basic shit from Wikipedia, right? Just for terminology and shit. But in a article that we read from the American Bar Association entitled National Youth Camp Associations, they say it's different type of camps. So they got certain facilities which they will say that is supposed to be therapy provided, and they got a variety of different types, and it generally includes discipline in these camps. Now, there's different type of camps also. You were working in the group homes, right?
Yeah.
And so that's the thing about it. It's like, it's so many different levels and layers to the troubled teen industry.
The levels used to go up to level 14. There used to be different levels from 1 to 14 used to be the levels.
And them is levels of group homes.
Yeah, there's different levels for different type of kids. The lower the level, the easier the kid is to deal with.
Okay.
So let me ask you a question. So what is level 14? The highest you can get?
Level 14 is gangbangers, kids who kill, rape.
So should they be in a group home with other kids that haven't?
So the whole system done flipped up in the state of California. I don't know if it's out. I know for sure in the state of California, but from what I hear, it's group homes across the nation, but I'm not sure if that's true. I got to double check. But I know in California, it used to go to level 14. Now all the levels have combined. And the state, so it used to take 2 years for a kid to do, basically recover from whatever trauma. At a group home, the time limit was 2 years. They shortened it from 2 years to 6 months. So kids.
And you know why?
Yeah, money. Money.
Because you could finish that 6-month cycle way quicker.
And you can bring in new blood,
bring in somebody new kids. Right back.
And if you look at the numbers, right, back, I want to say 6 years ago, 7 years ago, each kid was worth, a regular kid who has no medications was like, you'll get 6 to 8 bands for a kid monthly. 6 to 8,000 monthly for a kid. Imagine you got a house with 6 kids.
Right.
Each kid worth 6 to 8,000. That's only if they regular. If they got medical issues, nigga, that's 14,000, 16,000 per child per month. So they try to.
So
I know where you about to go with that.
So a kid can. Can you say that a kid that starts off at a young age, say for innocent, getting in trouble in school, these records that they're getting in trouble with is going to continue to follow them, right? And does it take a certain point for them, the state, to jump in? Is there a certain timing that they jump in? Or
their records are expunged at 18. So anything they've done before they 18.
No, we're not talking about after 18.
I'm talking about before.
A kid that's 8, 9, 10 years old,
getting in trouble, trying to do stuff in school and all of this. They start to document them, right? They document them from their school activity, what they did at school, and blah, blah, blah. Say, for instance, your nephew used to get in trouble, right? So that record follows him to the point where, is there a certain time that the state jumps in and say, hey, this kid is not going to change. This kid needs this and that. Then they diagnose him with this and diagnose him with that. And then they send him off to somewhere. You know what I'm saying?
It depends on the state.
Nah. That don't happen because they got jail for their little asses. You know what I mean? You don't want to follow your program. You don't want to do what you got to do. You come in here and you just saying, fuck the program, and you're not doing what you're supposed to do. They'll send a kid, for example, from Sacramento to Omaha or fucking Wisconsin in the middle of nowhere.
Oh yes, he's not lying.
A good place they love to send kids who don't do their programs. They'll send them to. They like, for example, on the West Coast, if you're a kid that don't do your program, they'll send your ass to the East Coast.
Oh, wow. Do you know that one of the biggest ones, which is called Sebring, they send your ass to Mexico? Most kids from California, especially Southern California, they got one where they will send your ass to Mexico.
What's it called?
I believe it.
Sebring.
But some of these kids don't do their program like they supposed to, so they gotta make them do it somehow, some way. So they send them out of town to a whole nother state, or from what I see now, another country.
Yeah, the flight school jumped in and said, "Man, they be lying. Them programs be full of shit. I done been to all of them and they failed us." And that's the research that I did. That's what that speaks to. A lot of the kids being failed. You see it?
I see.
Yeah, a lot of people just slap programs together so they can start making money off the kids, because it's a lot of money if you have a house full of kids. It's a lot of money.
I just dropped the link in the comments, so anybody that want to tap in, join in.
Who all is in?
What's up, Tamaya?
Tamaya's in here.
What's going on? Since we talking about the troubled youth in America, but we're not just talking about the kids that's cutting up and the shit that they doing. The research ended up taking us to the back end, which is a $1 billion industry called the troubled teen industry, TTI, where it's a whole $1 billion industry that's put in place that is thousands of facilities nationwide for teens that have issues. Now, here's the thing about it.
Right.
We got a guest on right now, Slow-Mo, who has been working 10 years inside of the TTI industry as a youth counselor and works in group homes for at-risk teens and troubled teens. 10 years experience. We got somebody who's in the room who has gone through dozens of these type of programs as a youth, So we got people that got, different sides of experience on it. And like I said, the research took me to the back end of it, where the money that's being made in the industry. And then when I started researching, I seen the trap. I seen the setup.
Yeah.
It's the same thing as the prison industrial complex. How, like you was talking about, how they'll have a kid start off, first and foremost, to talk to what you were saying. You were speaking about how it is in the state of California now. These rules do vary state to state.
Right. I can see that. Yeah, of course.
There's different programs for each state.
Different programs and different things that certain states do and do not allow for the youth to happen to them when they go through these programs. Because they got programs in Texas and they got programs in Colorado. They got programs in Mississippi.
There's a program in every state.
Oh yeah, there's programs in every state. But I was naming them states in particular in Florida because those programs, they allow for their boot camp settings and some of these programs that specifically aim to target corrective behavior. They allow them to get a little sticky and a little hands-on and to the point to where the rehabilitation can be blurred or just completely removed and replaced by abuse.
Yeah. Excuse me, yawning. A lot of programs, it depends on the level of the program. And now in California, all the levels have combined. So now it's like when it comes to, for example, hands-on with the youth, a lot of these programs are hands-on. It just depends on what hands-on program they're using, because there's different hands-on programs you got to follow too. You know what I mean? Like the one we use, it's more passive versus aggressive. There's a lot of programs where they use aggressive techniques to put their hands on kids.
So this article that we read from this one's from the NRA, National Youth Rights Association. It talks about the different type of programs that's out there, and some of these states got programs that's implemented in certain camps. There's actual camps that's set up. And what we've been talking about right now is the the camps and the homes and the group homes and the jails or whatever that's set up for behavioral issues. But when I started researching this shit, man, it blew my mind to find out that these same type of camps, these same type of facilities, group homes and everything, they got them set in place not just for behavioral issues.
Yeah, that's what shocked me. Listen to
this. They
this.
got these camps in certain states and shit. Maybe every metropolitan set up. If your child, you as a parent deem your child to be detached from society and play too many video games,
right?
They have camps, facilities. That's gonna be the similar shit for people with bad behavior or what, but they gonna have the same shit designed, but you can send your child to one of these facilities because you think that they have an issue because they spend too much time.
Give an example. Give him an example of what you found.
So
I didn't know this. Hold on.
So like I was saying, they got different types. It says in the article that these are facilities that's supposed to be based around therapy that's being provided, and it varies, but in general, it includes food and sleep deprivation, vigorous labor, verbal and physical abuse, and public humiliation. In some of the more extreme cases, young people have experienced solitary confinement, sexual abuse. In some cases, rare, but in some cases, kids in these programs have even been killed. Yet, however, this industry profited $1.7 billion in 2022 while doing this.
I can believe that. They was giving
some of the type of camps. They got the boot camps, which take on a military type of aspect, right?
Yeah.
Boot camps are a type of behavioral modification camp employed by the military methods to address drug use or psychological issues. However, rather than being reformed, a lot of the youth participants often suffer physical, psychological, and emotional abuse.
Oh, yeah.
But not limited to the food and water deprivation, sexual assault, like I said earlier, which leads to post-traumatic stress disorder.
So what I'm gonna double back on what I told you earlier, and that goes back to when I said, like, they cannot be feeding them kids properly, and all they need to know is licensing on the way. Now all of a sudden they got a fridge full of food. There are instances in some programs where staff be having relations with the kids, and the companies will sweep it under the rug and let go of the staff. You know what I mean? Yeah, I done seen it all, man. I done seen it all in this field. It's all there. I'm gonna double back on when you said the voluntary, the people that volunteer their kids for the programs. I've dealt with that a lot. Where there's a lot of kids who don't have no records. They don't have no trauma. They just there because they parent can't deal with them. I'm talking about, there are some kids.
That's a lot of is on the parent. You know, that's sad. That's so sad for a parent to have kids and then turn around and throw them in the system. Because how can you not deal with your child?
But how did they get to that point to be that bad though? To go even further on that, look at the setup, the paradigm though. They strip away the resources to have a kid outside active, getting dirty, learning, playing, building. They strip them resources away. Most of these states, cities and counties, right? And then they turn around and implement social media, electronic devices to have your kid stuck. And then when you say, Charlie, you're spending too much time on GTA, you don't do nothing, you're not listening, and you're like, shut up, I don't want to listen. As a parent, you get tired, you can't deal with it. you got a program you can send them to.
Man.
And you will fund this program. Because this is what I found out, Doug. And now, correct me, I don't know if it's like that in Cali or not, but in some of these states, these places is privately funded by the parents.
What?
Yeah.
What you mean?
So the parents is paying, in some cases, for their kids to go to these facilities.
The ones who are voluntary put their kids in these programs, they gotta pay.
Bam.
Right.
That's what I'm talking about.
Okay. They gotta pay.
The state don't put them in.
The state,
If the state put them in, you don't gotta pay. But if they acting up, the parents say, "I want them to go there,"
right?
They gotta pay.
If they've done a crime, or if they have been put in CPS.
I was about to say, because now you got rights involved.
If they a CPS kid or they done a crime, then yeah, they parent ain't gotta pay for a damn thing. But if you just saying you can't handle little Timmy, then you go pay some little Timmy handling.
Exactly. So Tamaya said, man, Mexico City, that's the worst. We got to do better by these kids. Fuck this government.
But people ain't
underlying cause to these kids being this way. Exactly. We got to do better. My folks.
Yeah, there's always two sides to a coin, man, and
right.
It's just this field is a slippery slope, but it's a lot of companies who could be doing better by their kids. You know what I mean?
But the thing about it is that a lot of the parents don't know how they're setting them up. Now, like with your sister, she's seen that the school system was setting Ray up.
Mm-hmm.
We seen it.
Yeah, that's what they do.
And
it's $1 billion industry.
And see, what they do is they feed on a child's depression and oppression at home. The child come to school with problems from home, and so the system feeds on that at school. And then when the child acts out, they put them into this.
It don't even gotta be that all the time, because the school can create the problem.
Right.
That's true. Billions of dollars.
Yeah, that's true.
Like you said, if you don't want to come in and if you just don't want to come in program,
right?
What's gonna happen? The first thing they gonna say is you're defiant. You're not listening.
Yes.
That's all it takes is that referral.
Yes.
That suspension.
Yes.
Once you get on that paper,
yeah,
and it may not even be your fault.
Mm-hmm.
But if they see that you can be another person that can be looped in that next 6 months, they're going to.
And then the school immediately preys on their behavior and say, "Oh, what's the thing they say all the kids got? You put them on Ritalin, ADHD,
ADD.
That's money. That's more money that the school system's gonna get.
Yep.
For your child. Not to cut you short. Ladora just told me that the school called her and said that because Ray missed the day out of school, and mind the school's getting out, you know, they wanted to find out what's going on. She's like, well, school's almost out. Well, basically, when you remove them from the school and let them go, say the last week of school, that funding stops.
Of course.
You see?
Everything
is funded.
It's just like that's why I compare this shit to the prison industrial complex, because every day equates to a certain amount of dollars.
Yeah.
Every day in the seat at school is a certain amount of dollars. Every day in the motherfucking prison cell is a certain amount of dollars. Every day that they got one of them kids.
Every single person they get is worth money.
Yeah.
Worth a lot of money. But
that's true. Well, we know you got to get up out of here.
That's what's going on. It's a fucked up game. It's a fucked up game, man. What these kids is going through. But shit, man. Let me say this. Some of these kids need to be in these goddamn programs. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be 100. A lot of these kids know how to manipulate a system. A lot of we all used to be a teenager. We knew we wasn't stupid when we was teens. We knew what we was doing. We knew how to manipulate and play systems. We know how to do shit like that. These kids are on another level of manipulation because they got the internet to help them.
Right.
So a lot of these, there's some good programs out there, man. Just know that it's good programs and it's bad programs. It's always two sides to every coin. It's a yin and yang, good and bad.
So before you get up out of here, give us a instance where you have made a positive impact, because a lot of the research that I did, it talked about the negative and how these programs fail the troubled youth. But I know that you personally have had and still got relationships with some of the youth that you have counseled and have been, supervising in group homes.
I want to say out of every 20 kids, you're going to reach 2.
Wow.
Out of every 20 kids, you're going to reach 2. You're going to reach 2 who going to really listen. You're gonna reach 2 to 3 kids who gonna really listen and follow your advice, and they gonna be all right. But then them other ones, they go right back to what they know.
Have you seen examples of someone that actually took the game that you was trying to give them and took your advice and turned your life around?
Oh yeah, I got a couple kids right now who are I got a youngin' who's a rapper right now. He blowing up. He's still in the streets. He's still doing his thing, but he has been taking my advice on stay out the way for your kids. You know what I'm saying? I got a couple youth who are doing real good in life because of advice I gave them.
Didn't you lose one?
One of my youth got killed. Amari, rest in peace. And he was just a victim of wrong place, wrong time. Yeah. But and the streets is a whole nother story. So right. Yeah, the streets is a whole nother story. This is organized chaos. We talking about group home shit. But when you talk about the streets, these kids in these streets is doing some these little dudes is animals.
Oh yeah.
They really
And the thing about it is, it's a reason to it. It's something perpetuating it. You know what I'm saying? And I think that is our job as a village to highlight it, talk about it, dig into it, find out what it is, and not only say, "Hey, this is what the problem is." We got to come up with solutions. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like with all this motherfucking money that's being made and spent. Yeah. Like
you can dive into what's real. If you know what time it is, we dive deep into shit. We know why these youth is. It's a design. We know that. We dive deep into it. We ain't even gotta dive deep. We know that this shit is a design and it's a machine.
Exactly.
It's a machine. It's a working machine. It brings a lot of money. So they're gonna keep. I can tell you right now, one of our main issues with these youth is the fucking new music. It's the music. These dudes want to be like these rappers. Period.
I blame the music and the combination with the drugs.
And we can go deep all day, but
in the industry, what I mean, shit. They try to follow a lot of these big R&B artists and entertainers and want to be like this.
It's social media. The things that are hindering these kids is their environment. Where they at, the economical, social status on if they getting money or not, if they family, if they got a mom or dad, if they got a dad in the home, if they got 2-parent household, you know what I mean? It's a lot of different variables at play of why these kids act the way they act.
For sure.
But ultimately, man,
and pretty much almost like you said, it goes back to because almost everything we can individually name, we can all say it's by design.
It's all by design. It's all by design. If you got a neighborhood full of poor people and you got youth growing up in that neighborhood, you know what's gonna happen.
And you remove the resources available for them.
Yeah, they can't get jobs. They can't do shit.
No after school, no before school, no kind of program.
None of that shit no more.
They get All you gotta do is give them a free Obama phone. They gonna be happy.
So I mean, how is it that and that's why I'll be like, I don't want to get political, but at the end of the day, people got to steer they focus when it comes to politics on a different level. Everybody be so caught up on the national and who the president gonna be and Democrat, Republican.
You gotta go behind the door shit.
That shit ain't nothing but a horse and pony show at the end of the day. What you really need to be concerned about and getting involved in is your local politics on the city, county, and state level, because that's the shit that's going to affect your children.
Yep. The next generation.
You're not concerned about your motherfucking self.
Yeah.
You're concerned about
they already
kids is going to have to go through.
But look, they're already setting them up to fail. They took them out of school for 2 years.
Vinny, I'm about to bring you in. Give me
California is still taking kids out of school because they ain't got no shots.
Man, come on.
Yeah. My daughter is being homeschooled right now. So
you see what I'm saying? And on top of that, they teaching them shit that they shouldn't be motherfucking teaching them.
Yeah, that's a whole nother conversation right there.
But I'm just saying, they're setting them up to fail for their future. They have no future.
By design.
In the future, they're gonna have to pay for a lot of shit that we didn't have to go through.
And that shit trickles.
Okay, y'all. I love y'all. I gotta get ready to go.
All right, I know you gotta get up out of here. All right, for sure.
All right.
Thanks for coming in.
I love you, mama.
Love you, baby.
All right. I'm gonna holler at y'all later on.
All right.
All right.
That's a. I'm finna bring you in, Vinny. That's a perfect example of. Can you hear us? Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you. Can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right. That's a perfect example.
Mm-hmm.
So they remove them out of school. You don't get the. You can't go to school. Now that's going to cause you what? Parents to have to homeschool.
Yeah. Take
off work, babysit or whatever. Now, that's an option for the ones that can afford it. What about the ones that can't afford it?
They can't afford it, right? Yeah.
You can't afford to take off of work. You can't afford to get a babysitter. You can't afford to have somebody come in and
nanny your kids and all that stuff.
So now what you go do? They can't go to a public school. They can't go to the school in their county. You got to go to school somewhere way outside the county, or you gonna have to send them to one of these alternative learning facilities.
What did you say? She said, "Peace, brother."
So we got some comments real quick before you come in, Vinny. Let me get to some of these comments real quick. Then we go have you
what's already
get your piece on this topic. So Tamia said, "Man, we definitely got to do better." My folks went to Fouts. Loud Leaf said, "Yeah, Texas, they don't play." Tamia said, "Man, purple crying, the eyes crying." She said, "This shit is blasphemous. Come on, what's up with this penal system?" She said, "I'm at work, but this shit got me bothered." It should.
It should have a lot of parents bothered. The way they set shit up. They literally have set shit up for your child to fail, and then they want to turn around and make them who they ain't. They got a lot of stuff against the kids. That's a target against kids right now.
Flight Academy said, "My dad did me like that, and then turned me into a beast."
Wow.
Yeah,
when we talk about it.
You know what I'm saying? If you still on live, we'll have you join in too, Flight Academy. That's real shit, because of, like I said, a lot of times they have it set up where you remove the programs, you remove the resources, then you bring in social media and all this shit to distract the kids.
Yeah.
Then the kids get doped on it, hooked on it. So the parents ease off the motherfucking gas, right? Become on autopilot, and social media and all the other shit is, taking up the time. But then when they get too caught up on that shit and don't want to listen to you, then a lot of the parents that don't got parenting skills, they can't turn it on and off and become the parent. Now social media, these devices and shit is running shit. So now you can't handle that. So now you want to send them off to this.
Look at the young man that shot his mom for not letting him get his video game.
The PlayStation 5.
Yeah.
Yes. They got places where, like I said, we've been talking about the behavior, and that's because we see so much crime and so much shit associated with behavior going on with these
kids.
But they got these same facilities that's doing the same shit. It ain't gotta be. I didn't even get to get into it.
Yeah.
You got facilities that set up for, like I said, if a parent feels that they child spends too much time playing video games, if your child is isolated, if your child does not know how to adjust publicly and socially.
They have facilities for them.
They got boot camps and facilities for your child if your child don't believe in God.
That's crazy.
Say y'all start Christians, Catholics, whatever. Your whole family's religion, but your child don't believe in God. Your child is an atheist or just don't acknowledge God, just whatever. They got boot camps that you can send your child to correct that behavior so that they have an understanding to believe in God. Where the same shit, and
don't they have
food deprivation, sleep deprivation,
or something?
I ain't even get to it. Yes.
Oh, man, it's crazy.
They got them for if your child is gay or don't know how to self-identify or having problems with it. They got a learning facility, a boot camp, a group home for all of this different shit. It's not just the behavior. If they got drug problems, sexual problems, they got all these motherfucking private companies that's running all these different facilities that's supposed to help you correct your child's behavior if they're a troubled teen.
And what's the name of it?
Troubled Teen Industry, TTI. It's $1 billion industry. This shit, I couldn't believe the shit that I started seeing.
Is she still in here?
Yeah, she's still in here. You hear us, Vinny? Vinny.
Yes, I'm.
Oh, there you go. There you go. Can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear y'all.
All right. So yeah, go ahead and let us know how you feel on this shit. Did you know about TTI? Because I'll research this topic. I gotta be a buck. I was researching this topic and I was talking about how the kids is just fucking up right now and the youth is wild and participating in crime at a rate higher than I ever seen it in my living days. But then when I started researching it, I started researching and finding out so much shit about the back end.
Right.
And about the actual industry of what's supposed to correct this type of behavior and how it's billions of dollars involved, but it's failing the youth.
Well,
it's set up to fail the youth. It's set up to fail people, period. I know here in Texas is being sued by the DOJ, the federal government, and a few other agencies for how they have been treating those children in those programs. So here in Texas, as you guys know, human trafficking is a huge issue. They're also taking these youths and human trafficking them. They're selling their organs. I mean, we're talking about caseworkers. We're talking about adoptive parents. We're talking about people who are within the system. So the first thing is we have a lot of the wrong people in place to take care of these children.
Agreed. That's why they're filming, for sure.
I definitely can.
That's the whole thing is the people they put in place, and that's why I love the motto. And the motto I've modeled my nonprofit after is completely opposite of what you guys are saying. Like no food, I have an open kitchen. Certain little aspects that can help them get past PSD, anxiety, don't want to be around people. I have certain programs in place for that, to help with that, because you have to love the children first. And if you're only in it for a job, and we all know it's conspiracies and corruptions, but a lot of it is these people that are in power are doing a lot of stuff to these kids in these homes and stuff. And that's why a lot of them don't succeed when they come out of these types of programs.
Yeah, because I was researching and it was saying kind of how your brother was talking earlier about the programs, how certain ones, if they're at a certain level, it's like a contract for a year or 2 years. So it was crazy because the whole initiation of this was brought up in 1958 by a doctor who studied in Germany, and the first facility like this was actually in San Diego, California. He went and bought the Del Mar, the old Del Mar Hotel, and all of the property around it, and turned it into like a boarding house, like a, the first,
I remember they had. So was it like a reform school?
Like a reform school.
We called it reform school back in the day.
Exactly, like the first reform school. But this was not just reform schools had a actual school moniker. It was like a school, you know what I'm saying? More so. This was more of a living facility.
Okay.
Right? Okay. Where you did go to some classes, but this is where you live.
That's how reform school was.
Right, exactly. Yeah. And what they did was when they first implemented the program, it was a 2-year program, right? And then it went from 2 years to 5 years. And then after it was 5 years, he changed it and made it basically where you could never actually complete the program, because the first facility was for drugs, kids who had issues with drugs. And so his concept was a drug addict never fully recovers.
Oh, wow.
You're always recovering as a drug addict. So there's no completion point as a drug addict. So he sold that to the parents.
And so the parents kept their kids in there.
You could be in that motherfucker 10 years, 12 years, get out, come back. Yes, you could be in that motherfucker from age
that's why
12 to 15.
So is that when they start building a lot of mental institutions around that time?
That's asylums.
Yeah,
that's what I'm
saying. Mental asylums had already been there,
but I wonder was they sending them off to over there?
That's all a part. They got mental facilities as well for the trouble.
Because they got to keep the doors open to keep people coming through.
There's
so they got to keep them going out too.
There's so many different types.
That's crazy.
They got jails.
Okay.
They got boot camps. They got homes.
Okay, so
group homes. They got mental hospitals. They got they got one where it's like basically a religious school. Like you go off and you live off on this property, and you're not being taught to be a priest or a nun, but basically if your ass don't want to follow your family program or your school, go to Catholic school, whatever program, and you anti-religion, you're going to go to this facility, and that's all you're going to do every day is be taught forcibly religion.
So let me ask you this. I'm going to ask you all this, and anybody can answer. There's a lot of crime going on right now in the country, all over.
Yep.
But, and I'm not picking on you, no Democrats. I'm just saying it's a lot of liberal states that has open laws now where the youth can steal up to whatever the fuck they want to steal. They can go into stores and do shit. They commit more crime than ever. They doing more shit than I ever in my life seen youth do. And these are 13, 14. They just arrested a little boy, 14 years old, got on a school bus to shoot another little boy.
Sure did. And a gun jam.
And the gun jam, but they just got his butt today.
I just put the link in the bio.
What is supposed to be, what's happening with the kids today that's causing them to go to that point? Is because they think they can get away with it now? Because that's what I'm thinking. They know ain't nobody gonna prosecute them.
That definitely has a part to do with it.
But it's got to be something deeper than that, though.
Deeper than that. It goes back to a few episodes ago when I said just in general that not only the youth, but just because of our conditions and the way society is, we do not value life as much as we used to. An older person is going to...
We value life more.
You're going to value life a little bit more. The older you get, each day you on this earth,
true.
You're going to value it just a little bit more.
Yeah.
Right? But even overall as a society, the average 50, 60-year-old person don't look at life and value life as much as the average 50, 60-year-old would have 40 years ago, 50 years ago.
And I think that's because I think that's because definitely time to change.
Right.
But there's so much more happening till we ain't promised tomorrow.
Exactly. And the thing is life expectancy has become shorter and shorter over those 50 years.
Yes, it has.
So our mindset is, I'm not gonna be here forever.
Right.
I know I'm not gonna be here for long.
I'm not gonna live to be 70.
So you would think that one would value life more.
Right.
Knowing that.
We just
But we become accustomed to it because we see people die so much every day.
Yeah.
Young people your age.
Yeah. Yeah.
People before you passing. Yeah. So our value on life diminishes a little bit. Now look at the youth. The 12-year-old, 14-year-old, the way they value life,
I would never
compared to a 15-year-old 30, 40 years ago is completely different.
Totally different. You
got so many.
Just 15 years ago, they're different.
Exactly. Just 15 years. You ain't lying.
Shit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
15, 10. Yeah,
so
they were different. Shit.
So that's how they can do the acts that we see and be involved in some of the things that we see, because we, as a society, we just don't value life as much as we used to.
Yeah.
And on top of that, you got more and more plans and vices in place to make sure that the youth fails.
Yeah.
It's not like it used to be. You don't got, we done talked about, you don't got the book club. I mean, not like it's just completely non-existent, but it's far and few.
Yeah, but it's got a lot of programs.
Because people can't really enjoy life no more. You got to enjoy your family because stuff is so unexpected when you go outside. You don't know, so you really can't put a full value on it because you don't know what's gonna happen when you go outside. And it's really just as simple as that. That you would be better off just enjoying the indoors, and that's part of the agenda of the situation that the world just went through.
For 2 years and something.
Yep.
They stuck us in the house for 2 years and something. So a lot of people got used to just not fucking with people. This is I be saying sometimes is people don't even go around each other like they used to. You know what I'm saying? You don't bring them to your house like you used to.
Yeah, none of that. And I also believe a lot of stuff going on in this world. And I don't want to offend any Christians in the chat, but if people believe it's angels on earth, you gotta believe it's demons on earth. You can't have one without having the other. And as the Bible being truly controversial, the more we get into technology and we can research and learn, me honestly, I believe part of it is people chanting out that Bible. People chanting out that Bible. And that I truly believe that is something that's going on too. It's a lot of demonic spirits just roaming the earth right now, doing random things, and they can possess you. So that's a lot of that going on too.
So
Lynn's in the room too. That's
hey, what's up, sis? Yeah, we got some comments I need to get on. So Tamaya said, man, that's real, because my kids called CPS on me and had the motherfuckers at my house because the school had an assembly at the school to stop parents from disciplining them.
Wow.
They can't control them, so they paid to send them off to the judicial system out them. And that's real talk. That's a lot of the well-to-do parents don't have as much time. But it goes back to the old adage: you want my time or you want money? Because a person that's really getting money don't have as much time. They're going to have help. They're going to have people that help to make up that time that they're missing because they're busy trying to get money or making money. And a lot of well-to-do and rich parents, they're in that situation. They don't have the time to spend 4 hours, 3 hours to sit down with their kids and to go over their lesson plan. to really, really invest that time into them. Not making it an excuse, but it's just a raw reality. If I'm a CFO of a Fortune 500 company, or I'm an entrepreneur and I got 4 or 5 businesses, the time that you got to put into that to keep that afloat, you're going to be missing some softball games, some plays, some recitals, some ballet, all that. And as you don't have the time to be involved in your kids, you don't know what the fuck your kids is getting into. And now you don't know how to relate to your child. And if you can't relate to your child, you damn sure can't discipline your child. So now that you can't relate and or discipline your child, you have no other means to get it right, because you're not equipped to do nothing else, but you have money. So now you are willing to pay a third party to come in and to install that discipline, spend that time, and do whatever is needed to fix your child where you think that they have flaws. But what you're not knowing is some of y'all in that situation where you're paying, like we said, when you volunteer your child into them type of programs, you're sometimes paying for your child to be abused mentally, physically, sexually, sleep deprivation, starved, put in solitary confinement,
depressed, bipolar, all that.
Allowed to have all kind of acts displayed on them, publicly humiliated.
But you know what's crazy though? When you think about it, it's like when we were being raised, my mama didn't believe in all that shit. Bipolar, what the fuck is bipolar? What is HDA? What's it called?
ADHD.
What is all this stuff? She wasn't trying to send us off.
Well, it was a different time. And the reason why is because first and foremost, that value on life. No, everybody value life more.
That's
and
crazy,
that was translated down from generation to generation, right? And so if you had a youth that had problem, you had forms of disciplining within a household, which were allowed to, like Tamai was saying, her kids went to the school and heard some shit that they did at assembly and must have talked to the people at the school. Next thing you know, CPS at her door.
What?
Yeah. So times have changed. You didn't have kids with the ability. You had kids going to school with an assembly with CPS motherfucking representatives there.
And you couldn't
talk about if you experiencing any of this. This is considered abuse. If you experiencing this type of stuff, you can talk to somebody. You weren't doing that shit 30, 40, 50 years ago, 20 years ago.
You had the police stand right there and while your mom whoop your ass.
Talking about, I'm going to close this door, ma'am. Just don't go too far.
Shit.
You know what I'm saying? Or the police lock your ass up, put your ass in the chokehold for your parents.
You got spankings at school, all that shit.
Times have changed.
That's crazy.
That's when you had police that cared.
Yeah, you had teachers that cared.
That value of life. They cared about your little black ass. They cared about your little ass.
Everybody cared.
Succeeded. They didn't want to have to arrest you. They didn't want to have to see you shot.
Right. Yes, that's true.
They cared about your mama struggling, being a single parent, trying to raise your ass.
Yeah, they sure did.
So
should you say that's related to morals and values?
Well, that value of life.
The whole thing.
It all stems from that value of life. Our value of life has changed, which is going to allow for other things to happen to us. We accept more, and we are allowed to go through more when we don't value life as much.
Yeah.
Like one famous person once said, the day that we start to treat the youth that we are upset with in the same fashion that we treat the youth that we are scared of, is the day that those youth become the youth that we are scared of. If you treat motherfuckers that got behavior problems, that want to be gay, say they're gay, identify something different, that don't believe in God, that whatever is different, that don't toe the line, that causes you grief, upsets you as an adult, as a parent, a grandparent. The day that we start treating those that behave or have differences that we don't like, we start treating them like we scared of them. Because when you scared of someone, what you go do? You go stay away from them.
Right.
You go push them off to the side. You go isolate them. Right? You're not going to give them things. You go keep stuff from them. If you start doing that to the kids that's just different or don't fit the agenda or just give you a little bit of heartache or grief or pain as a parent, as an adult, when we start doing that to the youth, that's what the fuck they go turn into. It's the youth that we scared of. Oh, just because I don't want to believe in God, you gonna send me off to this spot where they raping me and doing this shit? How you think the youth gonna look at you?
Yeah.
As the parent, yeah, they gonna feel a certain type of way about authority and about the people that directly did it to them. But what about the parent that failed them? Let alone volunteered me to go to some shit like this.
Mm-hmm.
So we got to think about that as the adults, as the OGs, as the parents, the grandparents, the elders in our tribe. We have to, first and foremost, now it's time for solutions. We done spent the last, hour and 20 minutes digging into this problem. Now it's time for some solutions. And I think I'm going to provide a couple of solutions. First and foremost, we got to start to reignite that value of life.
Yeah.
We have to, as the elders, start valuing our life more in our actions so that the youth that's around us can trace that template. When they see us valuing life more
mm-hmm.
and investing more into life, they gonna trace that template. They gonna only trace the template that you put in front of them. So that's one solution. As the elders, as the OGs, the adults, the parents, the grandparents, we have to reignite our value for life within ourselves so that the youth around us can trace that. And then something more formally, I think that within these schools, because that's where our kids is gone 8 to 10 to 12 hours a day, depending on if they play sports. You a regular student, you gone 8-9 hours a day. You gone that school
that long.
Yeah, shit. Most schools is what, 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning to 3 o'clock at night. That's a 8-hour job shit. That's a work trip.
Yeah, with the schools, they need to stop hiring the teachers that's the same age as the students. Because when we was growing up, the teachers was old. They was older, experienced, have lived life and everything.
Well, the students now just beating up the teachers, so
and the teachers having sex with the students.
Sex with the kids and talking to and interacting with the kids in a manner that does not separate, like she said. And
that's true.
It may be an age difference. They may do need to see more elder teachers with more experience, but I think that is the approach that some of these younger teachers is taking, because being younger, they actually could use that to their advantage, because you could and should be a little more relatable. And when you, like I said, when somebody can relate to you, they can open up to you. If a person's like, man, this old motherfucker don't know nothing about what we live, he don't know nothing about this life, what it's like to be 14 in 2023. You trying to tell me that shit from 1950? I ain't trying to hear that shit instantly. But if you 27, 26, and I'm 15, you could use to your advantage, you understand my language. You should know how to turn it on and turn it off. I can relate to you. Hey, man, bro, let me pull me to the side and we chop it up with you. Let me chop it up with you one-on-one and talk to you off the grid. You can really use that to your advantage. But it's the approach that they're doing. They're not interested because they don't got that value of life. If they really cared about that 16-year-old's life and where they was going to be 10 years later and hoping that they in their position to help somebody else, then it would work. But these teachers, a lot of them that's 25, 26, they concerned about motherfucking Instagram.
And how they going to party the weekend.
How many likes they got. What's going on for the weekend? Is they off or not? You know what I'm saying? So I'm glad you mentioned, Vinny, though, the school system, because I think my second suggestion would be, I think that with all this motherfucking money that's being spent and wasted, obviously, every state, every metropolitan needs to install mandatory all grade levels, fucking pre-K through 12th grade.
White academies here. We got
some fucking SBIs, some behavioral teachers that specifically have credentials in behavior. That work in their own office or with the counselors. So
yeah, but it's even hard to find them teachers because my son has had quite a few, and I can say since he's been at the school he's been at, it's all about the people in the organization. It's all about the people within the organization, so they can have the same program set up across 5 schools, right? But the people at one school, it's the people that make the difference at that one school. It's the teachers who have the patience, who can relate, who aren't so quick to just send you up screen, dismiss you. They don't act like he's disposable. So to him, they treat him and show him that he's valuable. So he's learned that.
Hold on. Because wasn't Saray hating school for a minute? He didn't want to be at the school, not that school, but I'm just saying he was afraid to be at some.
Yeah, and I didn't trust the school system. I didn't trust the school system either. The last few schools he's been to, I've had to sit down and talk to the school and let them know that I don't trust them. So therefore that I would be closely monitoring them and watching them. But since he's been at this school, he has had a different type of adult, different people working the same program on the same level with him, and they're understanding, they're patient. They know they treat him as he's valuable. They do not treat him like he's disposable. And that's the biggest difference.
Yeah.
Them teachers value his life. They actually care.
Yeah.
They give a fuck.
I mean, all the way down to when we was going through stuff, his teachers bringing us gift cards, food, all kind of stuff. This is one teacher. She's not supposed to do that. She's not supposed to do that. But to her, he's so valuable to her, and his mindset when he come to school every day, if this what he needs right now, this is what we're going to provide him with at every point.
And just like on the flip side, how if the program was fucked up and the people in the program was fucked up, the type of trauma and impact that would have on him, it would continue any type of cycle that he was already going through.
Yeah, it's called school-based trauma.
Damn.
Wow.
On the opposite side, though, he's being shown the opposite. People caring. That shit is going to be impactful as well. I haven't in the longest heard phone calls. I mean, I heard a little shit, but just about him fucking up in school and not succeeding, and just having outbursts and the altercations like the past ones before. I ain't heard that.
And he got all A's and B's this semester because California is based off just trying to control them while they're
and money.
Their whole thing is, okay, I got to do this for 8 hours. And they forget about their academic. Yeah, they don't do academic first in California. They do behavioral first. Here's a combination.
Behavior first. So as soon that's what I was talking about. It's like a trap. I'm finna get to the comments. We got a bunch of comments. I'm finna get to y'all. But this shit is just so we go over. This shit is so heavy because I see the plot. I sees the plot. I see the fucking plot, the painting on the wall. I see it. It's just like the Princeton Industrial Complex. Somebody in here said, Loud Leap said, school to prison. It's a pipeline. They going to start your ass off getting you on that paperwork at school about your behavior. It ain't about nothing else because you ain't heard of motherfuckers going to prison because they wasn't smart enough. I was so dumb in school, I got sent to the pen. No. But if you got a motherfucking track record of fucking up in school because of your behavior, then that shit can follow you. Because any incident that you get in that involves your behavior outside of that school, they're going to take that paperwork and connect the two.
Yep.
Oh, they've been having a behavior problem. They have behavior problems at school.
Yep.
It's a pattern.
Yep. And that has happened. That has happened up until this school we went to, Trent Middle School. Shout out to Trent Middle School in Frisco. They said, we are not reading that. That was so long ago. We're going to make our own assessment of him. We don't want to read that. On the other end, in California, if you had to switch your school, because they switched them schools a lot, it was they read the paperwork before they meet him. I've even had a psychiatrist say, "Oh, by reading the paperwork, I didn't even want to be alone with him. He was in the 3rd grade."
Oh my!
She said, by reading the paperwork, I was scared to even be alone with him. She said, but once I met him, I was saying, this is not consistent. This is not who I'm seeing. So once again, it goes back to the people and having proper systems in place.
The schools get paid.
I hate to cut y'all off. Hold on. I got to get in some of these comments, man. I ain't trying to neglect nobody, man.
And if I was anybody out there, then I would snatch my kids out of California school system. Sure the hell would.
Loud Leaf said, so has school to prison, honey. Tamai said, yep. They all got to do it. She said, I told her to get away from my car. This TikTok is killing the kids.
Oh,
big fact. And you got to know the difference between the two for real.
Yeah.
She said it's because these kids is a product of their environment, Tamaya said. She said, Loud Leaf, that's when Loud Leaf said, yep, Texas is being sued right now. Tamaya, oh boy. Tamaya said, these people are not trained. No, they're not trained. And the thing about it is they don't got people that's coming in and regularly checking to see if they are properly rolling out their policies and their procedures. A lot of these places is private with private funding. So imagine, not like a lot of the ones in California where the state funding it, but imagine a private company who is getting money from big businesses and rich parents.
Right.
They ain't got to report to the state.
Right.
They don't got the state coming in and regulating.
Wow.
To make sure they don't got no accreditation. Their rule is law. And ain't nobody coming and check to make sure that they following the rules. Kids have died in these facilities. Not 1 or 2 or 4 or 5, 10, 100. Hundreds of children under the age of 18 have died in these different facilities because of improper care. This shit is real life. Loud Leaf said it's corruption. Somebody said these devils control the music nowadays, corrupt the youth, and they trying to take over the world. Big Sis saying, hi family, what's up, sis? She said it's sad because the children are our future, says Tamaya. Tamaya said, peace, brother, man, that's right. Not many can. Flight School said how to join. I'll put the link in the comments. I'm going to put it up there again. The link will be in the comments. Lynn said, this sounds more like a pipeline. Exactly, sis. Youth to prison to fatten their pockets. That's all it is. Tamaya said, yep, that's real, Lynn. What the fucker? Because these children are considered disposable, just like Vinny said. When they consider you disposable and they don't value life, they ship you right off to one of these spots without thinking twice about it. without a second fucking thought. And that's so sad. Because it's not only the child having to go through that. And I got to talk about another section of this shit that tripped me out.
Finish reading the comment.
She said, I'm still on YOLO. Again, media, keep it 1,000. We're going to always keep it a buck over here. She said, yep, these demons is attacking the youth. You better, like she said, if you believe in angels, you got to know that it's the flip side, a yin to that yang. If you choose to put shit over your child, then that's what happens. Nobody can fix the Koichi fruits but the gene pool itself. No shit, sis, real talk. Flight School said, yes, sir. Tamaya said, yep, CPS sat at my dinner table because they weren't stopping my shots and I was giving them children directions while they were there. Wow. That's crazy. She said, indeed. Doug said, on perm topic, fam. Mad love. What's up, Big Doug? Our topic is the troubled youth of today's society. They got a whole $1 billion industry on this shit called the TTI. Google it. It's called TTI, the troubled teen industry. It's like a prison industrial complex where they done made $1 billion on group homes, mental facilities, boot camps, all these different places that's built to supposed to restore and correct problems with your child. Sometimes it do, a lot of times it don't.
I think I'm old school with it. The Bible says, spare the rod, spoil the child. All right. A lot of parents stopped whooping their kids when they got in trouble. And they started trying to use techniques where they put them on restrictions, things like that. But then the restrictions didn't work as much as whooping the ass would work. You know what I'm saying? And I think the kids don't fear their parents no more. I feared my parent, my mom. She was both, man, dad and mama. I feared her. I mean, what happened? Something. Well, I don't know whether it's the parents stop parenting or they start having them too early.
Nah.
I mean, somewhere something happened.
Society started to take away the rights of the parents.
The kids don't even respect the adults no more.
So when you don't have the basic rights to discipline your children in certain formats, whipping. Let's just talk about it, right? Certain states, whipping is against the law.
Right.
You can be charged and go to jail, right?
Yeah.
So whereas before a time, that was not against the law, unless it was like anything else. It was egregious and it was abuse. But if you just whipped your child, spanked your child for doing something inappropriate that deemed a whipping, you were not about to be sent to CPS or have people from the school at your house or police, none of that, right?
Right.
Those laws change. When those laws start to change, the kids notice that shit.
Right. Well, I mean, I remember the laws changed a long time ago.
Of course.
About spanking your kids a long time
guess what?
ago.
But
then
they
something else
change
must
more and more.
Something else must have changed too, because even though those laws had changed, even though I was raising my kids, the laws was changing then. So they didn't want you to whoop your kid and all this. But I'm saying it's something, I don't know whether it's morally or value that changed in the youth.
Well, a lot of things,
within the last 15 or 10 years.
Well, a lot of things have. Well, I will go back to going back to what you said. You do bring up a point. A lot of it does have to do with generational over time. A lot of people start having children a lot younger, right?
I think that's
and so that does play in it too, because as time goes on and the parents become younger and younger, unfortunately they become more and more irresponsible, as parents, because they are still youthful.
Right.
So when you have youthful parents raising children, sometimes that does not work out.
Yeah. And I know there's no instruction book that come with parenting.
No.
You know, you pick it up, you learn it, you try to do your best, blah, 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 blah. But I can't understand how these kids just disrespect their parents, disrespect the grandparents, disrespect whoever adult they come around. They get away with this shit. We got crime high as hell committed by youth left and right.
Yeah.
Happening right now. You can't even too much say nothing to a person's child no more. Or that child ready to cuss you out and go get their mama and their dad and they come around the corner with the bullshit. What happened between there and now?
I think when, and I'm going to have to speak from our community, our being the Black community, our tribe. I'm going to speak from our perspective. When times flip to the point to where the parents and the children started to do the same drugs, know the same people.
Is Vinny still there?
I think she's still in there.
I'm still here.
Yeah. When parents started to do the same drugs as their kids, know the same people, hang out in the same places.
But I mean, that's okay. I can see where you're going with that.
Listen, where I'm going with it.
But not when they. I'm talking.
Well, okay, but you.
I'm talking young. I'm not talking about 18, 21. I'm talking about young.
No, what I'm saying is, but right now you don't have a bunch of 4, 5, 6, 7-year-olds that's committing these crimes and all.
Right. I'm talking about they're 12, 13, 14, 15, 16.
And a lot of them, their moms
are young,
12 years old.
Yeah.
Right now.
Right.
Their mom is 26.
26. Yep. Period.
Right.
So a 26-year-old sending them on a mission, picking them up.
Right.
When the parents start doing the same drugs, knowing the same people, your mama fuck with the big homie.
Mm-hmm.
Your mama know the plug. You.
That's crazy.
I'm saying, I'm keeping it real.
Yeah.
When it got to that point, okay.
Your mama also, these mamas is also sexualizing their kids a lot sooner as far as daughters. And they're also taking bathroom pictures with them, going on dates with them, all kinds of stuff.
Listen, what she's saying, the mama's mentality, right? At 26, that got a 12-year-old son that's gang,
right,
running with her dude or her nigga she buy woo from, whatever,
which is possibly his friend,
his big homie. His big homie is a nigga that she fuck with. So when I see my big homie fucking with my mama and her friends, and I'm doing damn near the same shit that they doing,
he loses respect for you.
How is you finna tell me to come in the house at 1, at 2, at whatever?
You can't.
When I just see you in the spot with the niggas with the shit.
Right.
How you go sit? How? So when you have a whole generation of kids that's on that level with their parents, like she said, the mama not making it no better because a lot of the mamas want to take selfies.
The daddy too. Don't blame all of them mamas. The daddy.
Because a lot of the daddies,
dressing with the head,
But we can't too much put it on the daddies because remember in Black households ain't too many daddies.
They already
mamas.
They already missing.
I know, but you still can't say all.
Well.
Not all.
The fathers have to take a responsibility for
somewhere
continuing to allow themselves to be absent.
Yep.
That's their fault. For continuing to allow themselves to be absent. We know by design that a system is in place for you to be absent. But for you allow yourself to continue to be absent, that's on us. That's on the black dads. That's 26, 27. That's still hollering gang gang that live with his mom.
Right.
But I will say, in defense of black men, for the last, my son 13, maybe for the last 10 to 15 years, I have seen more young black men step up to the plate to be a father.
I will agree with that.
I definitely.
I will agree with that. And unfortunately, we got to be real. Right now in 2023, even though there's more dads stepping up, but right now,
oh yeah,
the majority of our youth, especially these young men, are being raised by their mamas and their grandmas.
Period.
And that's why 12-year-old, like I said, mama is ranging in between 26 and 30, and grandma is in between 40 and 50. And it's a lot of 50-year-old women right now that still need to grow the fuck up, because they got a 26-year-old up under them that's taking booty pictures with a 4-year-old daughter in the background, with a 12-year-old son that's gang gang. And guess what? Grandma is an OG gang gang and know all the OGs. This is a reality in our society, in our community that we deal with.
You got some comments. I'm not gonna read them.
So Il Mommy joined in. What's up, Il Mommy? She said the government told the kids they have rights. That's what happened.
Yeah.
A lot of shit.
More rights than the parents.
You're damn right. They strip the rights of the parents and start giving more rights to the kids. Fly School said, man, 100. Tamai said, these parents got scared to discipline their own kids. Tamai said, real villages are no longer allowed to form.
No. When
they do the same drugs, know the same people, that's a major fuck ups. Real talk. Real talk. You blurring the lines. The lines that's supposed to be drawn as parent, it's natural lines that you draw parent to child. Right. And when you're fucking around, you're in the streets, you know the same people, you're doing the same shit, you're cutting up in the same spots, and you breathing the same air. When they turn around, I know coworkers that shit don't work. Adults, 2 people, they coworkers. One is the supervisor, one work for them. But on the weekends, they like to fuck around. They party together, get drunk, go out and be sluts together on the weekend. Monday come around, the supervisor go to tell, oh girl, I need report done by such and such. And I need it done on my desk ASAP before you get up out of here. The homegirl like, bitch, got me fucked up. We were just knocking back mimosas in Long Island, and I had to carry your ass up the stairs.
Right.
Who you think you talking to?
Right.
Well, you blurred the lines. You blurred that line as supervisor constituent because you was fucking around with it on the weekend. How do you think it is as a parent to a fucking child?
Right.
I'll see you snorting coke, popping pills. You bringing the parties to the party. Mm-hmm. But then you turn around and tell me Davion Jr. be in a house by 11 o'clock and clean up your room.
Yeah.
What? That's what I'm talking about. Exactly. Tamai said, man, that's real. Mom in the ring. Mila jumped in. Hey, family, what's up, Mila? Tamaya said, ooh, wee. Tamaya said, they stepping up as fathers because they fear for their children. They see what happens when daddy is absent. I sure hope so. I hope so, and I hope that the brothers is stepping up and stepping in to break that barrier, because it ain't nothing like a man, especially one that can relate to what that young man is going through. And we not dismissing the young women, because it's a lot. Man, right here in our area, we have a group of young ladies ages 12 to 16. It's 4 or 5 of them.
Oh yeah.
These little. I want to.
We have like a 12-year-old shouldn't even be hanging around a 16-year-old.
Look, we have a little strip. We have a little strip mall right around the corner.
That's a whole different level. That 4-age difference is a major difference.
Yeah.
Mentally, definitely mentally it is.
For females? Mentally and physically.
Mm-hmm.
Like, come on. But they got a little clique. 4 or 5 of them. The youngest is 12, the oldest is 16.
Thomas sits in the strip mall.
Right? So around the corner from us is a little strip mall. You got a Domino's, liquor store,
Metro on the corner, Asian
regular neighborhood shit, right? Metro, you know what I'm saying? So they come 3 days in a row terrorizing the strip mall. They first go into the Mexican restaurant. They go in and say, I want to order blah, 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 order a bunch of shit up. The people take your order and fix it for you, and then you pay once the order is done. So they know that's how they get down. They order a bunch of shit. The people fix it, got to sit on the counter. They ring them up. When they ring them up, they reach behind the counter, snatch the food, run off. That's what they do one day. The next day, they go to the blunt store. They go into the blunt store. And when they come inside the blunt store, they in there just doing too much, hella loud. And there's some grown men in there, patrons, and say that they pull their phones out. The blunt store owner said they pull their phones out and go live and start twerking all on the grown men. Unwarranted. The men ain't, you feel me? These grown men just in there handling their business. These little young girls come in there being hella loud, doing extra, not buying nothing because they can't, they're underage. And so when he tells them to get out, they result to knocking his shit over and twerking on these grown men. The next day, the same group comes back, open the door, talking shit to him. He tell him to leave. They cussing him out, fuck you, all this, all that. And they take 2 boaters, they bust his window and take another boater and bust, you know how the blunt store place had displays. Bust one of his displays. Glass shatter everywhere, glass fall on his dog because he got a bulldog or whatever. Call the police come, they take a report. Police say, because they minors, there ain't nothing we can do. We can take your report for your insurance purposes or whatever, but there's nothing we could do to the minors. Even if they were caught, we would have to apprehend them until their parents or somebody over 18 can and let them go. It's nothing we can do. He let them know, okay, well, if they come back and they come in damaging my shit, I'm fearful. They got boaters, they throwing them at me, throwing them at my property. I'm going to do what I need to do to defend me and my property. You know the state of Nevada, how it get down. So the next day, 3 days in a row, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, they go to the end of the mall to the Chinese restaurant. These little heifers go in and order Chinese food. The dude ring them up, tell them how much it is. One of them say, can I get a cup of water? He says, yes. Turn around to go reach and get her a cup of water. And the little females run behind the register, the thing,
and
snatch.
It's easy to get to the way they got to
snatch the whole register and run out the door. So I said that to say, I know that the news, our social media platforms, our timelines, we see a lot of shit happening with these young men out here acting a fool. But I just had to give a personal upfront account of it's not just the young men. It's these young women too, because it goes back to if you got a mama, a daddy that's missing, especially for a young woman, that's so imperative and impactful. But if your father is missing already, but then your mom is taking the booty pictures, running around, doing everything that she shouldn't be as a mom, you're going to have a culture of young girls out here that's engaged in that behavior too. And that's a prime example. It's a clique of them, 12 fucking years old. What in your mind makes you think that it's okay at 12 to be running around into grown folks shit snatching shit, chasing, getting your noggin knocked off.
And where is your mama?
Taking another booty picture with the duck lips.
The duck lips.
Man, let me get to some of these comments, man. I'm hot right now.
You know duck lips, Vinny.
Say, somebody said them same demons just hopping around, touching everybody. Nowhere is refuge if parents hanging out too. Real shit. Real shit. Tamaya said men got to be present for them girls. You own it. Too, for that. 100% male perspective. The daddies, the uncles, big brothers, all of these guys, real friends, all the women are there for the nurture and women life and giving them the women life game. I mean, it's true. The men got to be the fuck around and step up and show them a different way and be there to guide them where they steer wrong. But men, we gotta clean ourselves up because we can't go and try to be in these young girls' lives and check these young girls if our shit ain't in order. Because that's going to make them more defiant.
Facts. They're going to look at you as like hypocrites. And the thing about kids is they think about the age group of kids we're still talking about.
Right.
And why the laws are, you're not responsible for basically your actions and stuff until you're 25 is because you're the good thing is your brain is still moldable. We still have a chance at helping the youth because their brains are still what's the word I'm looking for? You got it. It's still impressionable, so we can take it and form it, even if it's a male or a female on the outside of that home. That we still have that option. They're young. We can still mold their brains, and a lot of people just, like you said, give up, not knowing that giving up is like the worst thing you can do. Like I've never understood why parents kick their daughters out when they get pregnant at a teenager. You're pretty much giving up on them. You're saying you're on your own, not knowing that is going to make a huge impression because she's still a teenager, and like you said, she's still impressionable. So the best impression you could give a child is support, and once again, not treating them like they're disposable.
I just got chills, because that is real talk. The thing about people fail to realize is behavior can be learned, unlearned, relearned. Behavior ain't nothing but patterns of thoughts, beliefs, and actions.
Well, I believe in beating that ass when they out the floor.
Hey, that's that.
I grew up old school.
That right. But that's how you behave. That, you know what I mean? And expect for your kids to behave a certain way based off of that, right? But saying that to say, some of the shit that these kids are seeing and
they
being
see
taught,
different shit nowadays, though.
It has fucked them up.
Yeah.
But that's not the end. That can be untaught. Mm-hmm. They can be relearned how to do things a different way. And that don't go just for kids. Big folks, grown-ups, us is we can learn to change our behavior as well. Just because we came up a certain way, just because you were maybe used to a certain thing from the 70s, the 80s, don't mean that you can't learn a new behavior, new patterns, new thoughts, new beliefs, especially if it's for the better. Because sometimes you have to change your patterns so that your behavior and your actions can change. Sometimes as the adult and the parent or grandparent, we're going to have to change our behaviors if we expect for change to happen within a household. And I think that's probably a lot of the problem within itself. These folks be wanting to send their kids off to these places and shit. Well, but you the one that ain't got no time. You the one that ain't involved. What have you done? What kind of behavior have you changed? Have you tried to open up your schedule? Have you hire somebody else to help you so you can be more hands-on with the kids? Have you given up on some of the shit you got going on? Have you stopped a certain way of discipline and tried something different because that's not working? You know, what are we doing to improve our behavior so that we can expect behavior changes from our youth? It's a lot of shit that we can do to provide solutions. I think that this shit can be turned around, but it's going to take some real work. Some real hands-on work. We got a few more comments. Tamaya said, yep, it's that village slogan. Your kid is my kid.
That sounds like a Democrat slogan. They say, your kid is my job. That's what Kamala Biden said. Your kid is my kid.
Tamaya said, no, fuck that. I check other people's kids for cussing in my presence as an adult. I demand my respect and dare them to go get whoever they want to go get about it. These kids be calling me crazy, but I bet you they respect you.
I don't do it. I ain't trying to dismiss my kids.
Because not even their parents is crazy, it's these kids.
Yeah.
I guarantee you probably most people nowadays probably have a slightly higher fear of these kids than whoever they kids is gonna go get.
Mm-hmm.
People ain't too much worried about you going to go get your daddy, your mama. Most likely we ain't worried about your daddy because more than likely they ain't there. Your uncles, your big brother, whatever. We ain't worried about you going to get them. We worried about you and what you go reach for in that waistband.
Yep.
And that goes back to that saying. When you start treating the kids like the kids that you're scared of, because they the kids you upset with, guess what? They go turn around and be the motherfucking kids that you scared of. So stop being spooked of these little motherfuckers and start investing in them.
Mm-hmm.
That's why anybody can get it. And I know I'm not obsolete, but when I'm around them little motherfuckers, I don't have that. Mm-mm. I'm not scared of you little asses.
Me neither.
At all. And I used to be, oh shit, why do all these little niggas that's in their 30s and these motherfuckers almost call me OG? I just take it as a respect level. And that is because I'm radiating and putting out respect to you. Right. That's what you got to start doing. Start listening to these motherfuckers. There's a lot you can learn from these youngsters.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
Stop putting them off or looking down because they the youth.
That's crazy because you say that because I feel that way with a lot of the adults we deal with on Fremont, the crazies. Mm-hmm. You have to really listen to people. Like the young man we helped that changed his life around. If we wouldn't have listened to this young man, come on now.
You said perfect example.
He called me auntie now, and he would come down to Fremont. And he was stone cold, fucked up on dope, everything drunk, and teeth was messed up. His girl was gone. Both of them was gone. And he got picked up because he beat up somebody on the bus out here.
Went to the pen.
He went to the pen because they already had a rap sheet. Went to the pen. He did a year or something.
18 months.
18 months in the pen. And we was down on Fremont. What was that, last year?
We was down
last year. He was on Fremont.
Yep.
And he came up to us.
It was like the end of the year. It was cold. Yeah.
He said, y'all don't remember me.
He was standing there just looking at us. I'm like, what's this nigga keep looking at me? And he just looking.
You go ahead. Yeah, he's just looking.
So he walked up. He was like, what's up, OG? I was like, what's up? He was like, you don't know me, do you? I'm like, no. He's like, you don't remember me, huh? I'm like, nah. He's like, you don't remember me? I'm like, nah, bro, I'm sorry, my bad. I'm like, shit, I'll meet so many motherfuckers down here, my bad. He was like, man, I used to be out here last year. Me and my girl, man, woo, I'm from the Bay. Man, I used to tell you I'm gonna get my shit together. I wanted to come out here and do my shit with you. Like, he was like, I mean, I used to be out here area. He was like, I had my dreads, I had long dreads then. I used to be out here drunk every day, fucked up. I was on meth. I was fucked up with woo. My girl, I looked that nigga in the eye. I said, nigga, bruh, Black. He was like, yeah,
Jay Black.
I'm Jay Black.
Jay Black.
I said,
he know my niece.
Bruh.
He know my niece in Sacramento. But it was crazy.
That must be Annika.
Girl, how you know?
The people that you know doing the same different things.
Yeah. Girl, yeah. Well, he didn't say, but I know.
Yeah.
But yeah,
he
came out
back.
We didn't even know who he was. He was
swole,
healthy,
face
long locks and grew. Teeth wasn't fucked up. I don't really got him
clean. Money in his pocket.
And right now, he's in another city.
Yep,
working, doing good, everything.
And like she said, he used to be down there every weekend with the bullshit. Drunk, something. But he felt that he had somebody he could go to.
Right.
To talk about it.
Yeah.
And like she said, if we would have just, nigga, I don't know you, or little young dolphin, nigga, leave me alone. You know what I'm saying? Or just not took the time to value his life and listen. Just, nigga, sometimes that's all it takes.
Yeah.
Just listen to
me. We took him clothes. We took him,
Man, gave that nigga clothes, hoodies. We used to buy them food. She gave a female, his girl, clothes. Just taking that time, showing the motherfucker you are valuable. You feel me? Because I could be 2 steps away from where you at.
Yeah.
Any given minute. And just letting the motherfucker know that you still have value to your life. I'm listening to you. Get yourself together, bro. I got you.
Yeah.
Giving the motherfucker that glimmer of hope. He did just that.
Yeah.
That's why I asked Doug. Was it any success stories where the youth that you did come across and had contact with, where you was that beacon of light and a positive role model for them, where that shit impacted them and they spent that shit around? And he did, just like this young man. So that them is prime examples and testimonies, man. Not shit that we research or we talk about. This is real life shit that it's real. If you show a person that you care, you show a person you value their life, especially as a youth, a teen. He's an adolescent. He was already early 20s, but he's still a youth up under us. So he's seen somebody older than him that he knew I'm from the streets of the streets. So that's that relatability. He know a nigga wasn't gang goofy, wasn't square. So the shit he was doing and talking about, I could relate to. I done seen it, done it, been through it, or know of it.
Yeah.
So it's like, nah, I can't talk to Unc about this shit. He don't know nothing about nothing. So you got that relatability, but I'm not out there with the fuck shit. I'm not out there on Fifi, whooped, trying to be a young nigga. Me and her outside with the stupid, with the goofy, doing the same shit, knowing the same people as he was.
Yeah.
So he like, oh, I can go to Unc, I can go to Auntie. I look up to them. A template I can trace.
He wouldn't do none of that stuff around us.
Put a pants up, the whole shit. You're not gonna be smoking dope.
Very respectful.
Why? Because it's a template he can trace.
Yeah.
I want to be better. I want to be like that. That's what we got to start doing to our tribe. That's what we got to start being for our tribe. We can flip this shit around.
Being that role model they used to look up to, and people used to ask, "Who's your hero?" And the kids say, "My mama, my daddy."
Right. I say that shit every time.
Now you ask them that, they tell you some crazy shit like
if
what?
They got one.
Oh, what? Right.
If they
got one. So somewhere along the line, yeah, somewhere along the line, we're failing as a society, not just parents and community leaders and things like that. You know, we got to start getting back and more involved in our community. We got to start asking for more money bring back the youth centers and things that the kids have something to do. They don't got nothing to do no more. You give them a game, they play shit till the dusk of dawn. We got to get them outside, get back healthy, get them back involved in different shit. Because now they sit inside and they don't do nothing no more.
Man,
so they know everybody's business. They can tell you everything about everybody.
Ooh.
You know what I'm saying? So I just feel that as parents, you know, us OGs, especially as older women, we got to start definitely communicating back with our young black women. My daughter has a nonprofit that she's trying to push.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we need to get behind her and push it. You know, make it happen.
All kind of things that's going on.
You know what I'm saying?
That's trying to combat this shit. Man, I just had a thought, man, this shit is so deep.
Yeah.
And it's
designed deep
designed, because I'm thinking about, man, and damn near making me want to tear up, because I think about, as a black man especially, it's almost like you feel like you handicapped. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Because society has put so many things in place and has designed a structure to remove you.
Yeah.
Your presence, your say, it don't matter.
Yeah.
As the strong black man, your appearance, your voice, that shit don't matter in society no more.
Yeah, it don't matter.
So the nucleus of our household, you remove the man.
That's right.
And now you got the woman and children to fend for self.
And they're trying to definitely
remove the man. Vices. They done removed man.
Yeah. But I'm talking, they're dumbing down man right as today.
And now you got vices in place.
The word man, period.
You got vices in place specifically to attack the women that's there, that don't got the man.
That's right.
So you got these hypersexual females that's over masculine, because they happen to compensate for that man not being there. So they engaging in the ratchet behavior, the over sexuality and all that, but at the same time they super masculine. They'll pull up, fight, and slide, and bang harder than a man, which is left raising children that has to watch that. So that shit, it eats my soul, because it's like, damn, we as black men, we on the sideline.
Yeah. And you know, it's everything you just said is real truth. And I sit back a lot of times, and I got 4 grandkids. I got 3 girls and 1 boy. And I sit back and I think about their future. Even though their mom and their dad they can get whatever, you know, when it comes to how they discipline, whatever. My thing comes from, as a grandmother, you want to make sure your grandkids grow up and be successful in life and have the things in life they need and things like that. And they, even though they'll get it, but society is trying to stop them right now from having all that. They're going to have to pay for the mistakes of today that's going on in our country. Our grandkids and kids going to have to pay for that shit. Their taxes going to be so fucking high, they ain't going to be funny. Schooling, all that shit. But we are not, excuse me, we're not fighting for them strong enough to me. You know what I'm saying? I think we should fight harder for the youth.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. We got to fight harder for them. That comes from being involved. Like the motherfucking, them parents in Virginia and all them conservative states and shit that ain't going for that shit. You're not finna do this to our kids. You're not finna.
Right.
They show up, showing the fuck out at the school council meetings and city board meetings, and we got to start doing more of that, man.
Yeah, right.
We could show up to a concert. We could show up to a football game.
My governor is not having it.
You what?
My governor is not having it. You do it, you go to jail.
And that's for things.
And that's good.
Yeah.
And guess why though? Vinny? That's because the motherfucking residents of them counties ain't having it.
Yeah. Oh no.
They ain't involved. Right. They not going for the bullshit.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, they need to learn their local politicians.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It ain't all about your big politicians. It's these local politicians you got to look at.
I'll put it like this. As a parent, that's your job.
Yeah.
That's your job. Fuck who the fuck the president is. That shit is non-applicable.
You got to think about why California is still asking, who's pushing this for kids to be vaccinated or been had they shot, or they're kicking them out of school before a certain time. Who helping pass that shit?
Exactly.
Why is that still even existing?
Parents gotta, fight and step up and threaten to not participate or partake in certain shit that involves loss of money.
Yeah.
And then that's when they'll start listening.
Yeah.
Well, fuck it. Everybody start withdrawing their kids randomly from school.
Yeah.
On behalf of the ones that may have to suffer.
Yeah.
If they choose not to do this or that. Fuck it. We all go. That's what it's gonna take shift in the paradigm like that. But
because I sure had to tell my daughter's vice principal, she don't belong to the state of Texas. She belongs.
No, they said your kid is their kid.
And I bet you she knows she's not.
You gotta be
involved. Kamala Harris, Joe Biden say your kid is my kid.
You gotta be involved.
They're all of our kids. That's what they say.
If you're not involved, then that will happen. Right. And okay, so to speak on that, you know what I'm saying? When I was researching this shit, come to find out in Nevada, they got a bill that's up for on the ballot this year, and it is pending to be passed or not. I think it's in July. Bill 303, Nevada State Bill 303, which specifically talks to youth in school with behavioral issues, where it says if your child is deemed to not be able to have their behavior corrected, or your child displays actions where the school administrators, city, county, or state, deems their behavior to be hazardous to themselves and or others, then this bill would allow, y'all Google it out there, I know somebody go Google that, would allow for your child to be expelled from school as early as the age of 6.
Shit, mine was.
Whoa.
Now.
Yeah.
So you know what Nevada trying to do is catch up to who?
California.
Big sister. Exactly.
California. Nevada does everything California does.
So check it out. So with that bill being in place, and I'm sure something already probably being in place similar to it in California, what that does is that allows for the school administrator to make a decision on your child's behavior, like she was saying, how the one teacher or administrator, whatever she was,
that can be just
read the file and was like, "Oh, I'm scared to be in the room with you."
Wow.
she could have easily made a decision based off the paperwork to say, you know what, I'm not even safe having this meeting, and then whatever would have happened. Just like that administrator could make a decision, you know what, we don't find his behavior or her behavior to be corrective. Wow. There's nothing we have here that can correct this type of behavior. So we're going to expel them at the age of 6. Now, that's crazy. That's California, where you got a lot of 7 or 8 teachers too. But I'm saying you might have 7 or 8 school districts, right, metropolitans. Right. You feel me? Yeah. You're talking about Nevada, where Clark County is the biggest county. Wow. What happens to Elkhorn County? Let's just even say Clark County. Right. What happens to a 7-year-old kid in Clark County who is bad as hell, but the school don't know how to tolerate or deal with it? So they deem this child behavior uncorrectable. I don't even know if that's a word. Y'all correct me if I'm wrong. Incorrectable sounds. Well, I like uncorrectable too. Not able to be corrected. If they deem that your kid behavior is not able to be corrected, they can expel that 7-year-old. Now, that 7-year-old get expelled, not suspended, expelled out of school. That's the county. You have 2 school districts in all of Clark County. The Clark County School District and the one that they got in Henderson. That's it? That's it. Oh, wow. So that 7-year-old now can't go to school in Vegas and surrounding areas at all, unless they allow them to go to Henderson. Now, if you don't know the demographics, that shit gonna follow them over there. Henderson, it ain't that far. Henderson tries to shy away from Vegas as much as possible when it comes to education and things like that. So it would be up to that school or those schools that's available in Henderson, the county that they're in, to accept your child or not. Do you think that they about to be in the business of accepting a bunch of kids that got kicked out of Clark County to come over to their school? They gonna send to what the first thing they go do? Send to an alternative. That's the last thing they gonna do. But the first thing they gonna do is what? The same thing that Vinny went through. They go look at that paperwork. And they gonna make a decision. Oh, you did X, Y, and Z over in Las Vegas? Yeah, that's and they couldn't do anything about it to the point to where you had to be expelled at 7 years old. That's Bill. Are we going to take a chance on bringing him over here? No. That's too much of a liability. Because what they worried about is the money that they could get from you from being placed in that seat every day does not equate the risk of if by the paperwork you come in there, go off, beat somebody up, shoot somebody, stab somebody, and hurt somebody, possibly maim or kill somebody in the school. How much it will cost you if that was going to happen. So they're going to say, oh, no, it's not worth the risk. He's too high risk. So now that 7-year-old can't go to school in Las Vegas at all. So now what mama and daddy got to do? Send him out to another school in a different district. What's the different district? You in they're gonna have to move to another way to next district is Boulder, an hour away. And just by Pahrump and stuff. Oh yeah, another hour. Oh wow. How you gonna get them back and forth? But this again is, and this is where the system kick in. This is where it's a billion-dollar industry. Now you going further out. You going there to Boulder to Pahrump? You think they finna let you in?
Right. They just sent your paperwork with you too.
Your paperwork good there before you do.
Yeah.
That's the first thing they're gonna ask you for. You got an address out here, blah 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 blah. Oh, I'm transferring, blah blah blah. Oh, what's the situation? Oh, we need the paperwork. Send the paperwork. We'll review it. We'll let you know. It's gonna be worse than a job application for the kid.
Right.
Can't get to a school. Nobody wants them. You think the kid ain't seeing that everywhere you try to get them in school? They can't go nowhere. Don't nobody want me in their school. You think the kid don't see that? Well, there is one place for you. This alternative school.
Alternative school, that's what I said.
And you like, fuck, I can't send you nowhere else. You ain't want to act right.
That's crazy.
I gotta still work. I gotta take care of your brothers and sisters. You gotta get your education. I'm gonna have to send you to this school. But you're gonna have to be there. I'll pick you up on the weekends. Or you might have to stay there. Not knowing that sometimes.
So would you say boarding schools was a little bit different than?
It's all the same shit. It's all the
Because
same.
I felt
industry.
boarding schools was wrong too.
Yeah, it's all the same. It's all the same.
Because it was
like
for
she
behavior
said,
and stuff too.
Yeah, like she said, it depends.
But only the rich could afford it.
It depends on the staff that works there. It could be a beautiful thing. Military school, all that shit. It could be a good thing. But it also has a deep, dark, ugly side to it, where kids are being abused, mishandled, and all the while, billions and millions of dollars is being made off that. And I think that's something that we definitely had to talk about and bring light to and exposure to tonight, man. Because it blew my mind. I was just about to talk about.
Yeah, I know about no TTI.
TTI, man.
That sounds like a tech school or something,
man. This is a real thing. I want everybody to Google that shit, be aware of it, spread the word. Yeah. Troubled teen industry is a real thing.
Well, what you think they're gonna be doing with all these kids they busting right now? They was talking about on the news how so many of the migrant kids, the parents that left the kids in the hotel in New York, and they're leaving their kids. So what's happening to these kids that they're leaving behind, that they came over to this country and have no parents no more?
They get human trafficked.
I was about to say.
Yeah, that's what I was. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. They knew that what they were doing when they allowed these people to come over.
Undocumented and now unaccounted for.
Yeah.
Free game.
Yeah. Yeah. And all I thought about was kids being trafficked, kids being that what they call this stuff they drain from the adrenochrome from their hands.
All that.
I mean, man, it's crazy.
All that.
And then the kids that's literally getting caught that's going into these stores and robbing people and carjacking people, and that's getting caught and they are being prosecuted. What's going to happen to them?
Now they got that record, right? So now that they have that record, hopefully they can get back into a regular school and toe the line, graduate, and get up out of there. But that's not the expectation. The expectation is that now that they got that record, because there's so many vices put in place for them to fail because of that record, that they go get swooped up in the system and be in one of these facilities, which is going to then pipeline them straight to the prison facilities. You think about how many of these facilities have youth that go through them, and they go through all the shit that they go through in these different type of facilities, and then these youth grow up and end up in prison.
Right.
So many of them. a lot of these places is almost designed and take on the form of baby prisons. Very much structured like prisons.
That's crazy. That's...
It's like, and this is not through the judicial system. These are private companies.
Wow. Right.
Owned by millionaires.
Yeah.
That own a facility that has teachers, counselors,
staff, everything,
cooks, medical, security,
and pedophiles,
and administration. But they are not state or federally regulated. Some in some states are, but a lot of these places are private and they got private funding. That's the big difference. When you don't need the state's money to operate,
right?
When you got money coming in, it's just like a private school.
Anything,
it's like private school. Why are so many horror stories about kids that have gone to private school? Because they're not regulated.
But I mean, a person can be doing anything though.
They do be doing anything.
God damn.
I'm so glad that, we was just able to talk about this. But I mean, the research that I got on this shit is heart wrenching. It's like, damn, you got testimonials of the people that's done went through this shit. You know what I'm saying? And I learned about a mental illness that I didn't even know exists. I knew about post-traumatic stress disorder, but I didn't know about CPSD, and that's complex post-traumatic stress disorder. That's where your shit is basically almost irrevocable. You almost can't change. Medicine, nothing can almost change it. Your trauma is so severe.
So that's damn not near bipolar. Bipolar, not bipolar, but schizophrenic.
Well, no, schizophrenia is when you lose all control aspects of reality, right? A person can have it together and know what right and wrong and what reality is, but has gone through some trauma so bad that there's no medicine, there's no counseling, there's nothing that can reverse the trauma that I've gone through and the pain and the impact that it has on me. That's complex. Complex. It's hard. This shit is hard to figure out. Almost. Right? And I'm like, damn, kids being diagnosed with this shit years later because of the abuse that they went through. Man, Tamias gave it 100% thumbs up. Yo, mommy said, so I am to understand that the educators who go to college to get the degrees to even be able to teach aren't being taught the social aspect of their college degree anymore, if that makes sense. Yes, that makes a whole lot of sense. I know exactly what you mean. A lot of these younger professors, they just have the degree. They just know what is taught in the book, right? But they don't, like we was talking about, that relatability. They don't have the relatability with these youth. You know what I'm saying? While they've been growing up and going through, you've been in a classroom for the last 8 years. You know what I'm saying? And now you're put in a position of authority to try to lead and guide, and you are ill-equipped because you really don't know nothing about life. You can teach them about this book shit, but you can't balance teaching them about life. And that's what teachers and educators are supposed to do. That's what our teachers did back in the day. Right. They didn't just teach you math or science.
Right.
They taught you that, but they taught you about life and how that subject related in real life or would affect or impact you in real life. They ain't doing that shit no more. Tamaya said, man, shit crazy.
I just think when they stopped parents from whooping their kids' ass, They stop parents from being the parents that they should have, because even with my kids, I found myself trying to adapt to how I want
your mommy coming in.
How I found myself adapting to what the system wanted me to do. But deep inside, it's like I told them, if I can't raise my own kids, you gonna take them and you gonna raise them. But I never just stopping the ride. You know what I'm saying? Spoiling the child. No, fuck that. Because they'll grow up and they'll start disrespecting you. And then I had even my nieces and tell me to my face, can't nobody whoop them because the system gonna lock them up. Okay? Hello.
What's up, your mommy?
Hey. I don't know if you guys can see me or how well you can hear me. And
we can hear you.
We can hear you good. We can't see you.
Okay, well, I just switched into your thing, so I don't know how far ahead you are, but going back to the credentials of the teacher, it is, they do need that, because I remember when Jem was in first grade and there was this one troubled kid, I think that's going up to 5th grade, and he would always get sent into our class, and they just sent him there without, like trying to help him like his teacher or whatever. But then what I did was like, okay, you're here again. This is the 3rd time in this 5-day week. And I was like, okay, this is what you're going to do. You're going to go help this little kid do his work because you're an upperclassman and you know it. When I was watching him, when I was observing him with the child or the children that I would give him, by the 6th time he came in, right? He knew my kids by then, but the last time he came in, I saw that he was so proud of the work that I had given him. I saw a shift in his attitude and the way he behaved. And not only did I tell, Gemma's teacher, but I told his teacher as well. I don't know what happened to that kid, but because I gave him that little bit of structure and discipline, as well as the kudos that came along with it, and then I showed him, or I let him know what I observed of how he looked and how he felt after helping the children, I saw a big difference in him. And I don't think anybody took that time to do that with him. They just thought that, he was just a troubled kid.
Disposable, like he's disposable.
Well, that he was like a nuisance in class, but there was actually an underlying reason of why he was acting that way, and the school just dismissed him. I don't think he graduated. Yeah, I don't think he graduated though. This was like 3 years ago. But I mean, I really hope he did, because I heard one 5th grader didn't graduate. And I really am hoping it wasn't him. But if it was him, I hope that there's a seed that I planted and somebody nurtured it to where it would help him for the future.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Man, that's a perfect example. You showed a value in him. You seen that he had something to offer, and you provided him the discipline and some structure.
Yeah.
He probably wasn't used to. He probably was used to people trying to discipline him all the time, but no one providing the structure along with it.
And well, I also felt that I don't think that his teacher took the time to find out what the underlying issue was for this child, for this kid. I guess he's a 5th grader.
If you don't mind, in his case, what was some of those underlying issues, if you don't mind disclosing?
He was angry, and he felt that he wasn't being heard, and he felt like he was invisible, just because of maybe a few kids, because he's like kind of like a little bit of a class clown, but also there were some educational setbacks for him as well.
Right.
And in those, in the first 3 times that he came, I figured out right then and there what I had a feeling, but then like I talked to him a little bit and then he let me know. So I was like, okay, well, I know what your strengths are. So I'm going to put you with one of my kids whose strengths could benefit. He could benefit from your strengths. And
Right.
he was just so happy that he had helped this little kid and
That's
helped
right.
this little kid succeed. That his
Right.
eyes lit up, his face was full of smiles. You could see all the tension and all the anger just exhaust out of his body. And it was
Because
so
he was
great.
able to see the value in his own self.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, it made me feel good as
Oh,
as
I'll
a
say thank you
parent.
for that. That's dope.
Yeah, it made me feel good as a parent, as a human being, but
Yeah.
I couldn't do it on a daily basis.
Right.
So, because obviously people parent their child differently than how I parent mine. So
Right.
it would be difficult for me, but it made me feel really good for just that moment in time. He felt valued.
Yeah. That's dope.
Yeah.
I just wanted to share that.
No. Thanks for bringing that to the table, because that's another example of a real life experience where if you just take the time to show that little bit of interest and provide structure and show that value,
Yeah,
in youth, it can make a difference. And
yeah,
that's our responsibility. That's what we got to start doing more of.
yeah. But that's why I wrote the question, because you have to have some kind of like, not therapy, but you know what I mean, like how some kind of training when you
Mm,
get your degree in college to even be a teacher. So did
right.
that like fall off or?
No, I think it's still there, but I think it's just more so kind of like how somebody else had said. Like, I think that they no, that was you that said that, but yeah, it's true. Those classes are just looked at as another class, and I think it's 12 credits that they got to pass. And the thing about it is, a lot of the programs, the behavioral science classes and shit like that, you take those in the beginning
Mm-hmm.
right away. You know what I mean? You get your 12 units out of the way, because that allows you to at least be working somewhere. You know, that's how this shit is set up. So you just got to get those 12 units, those 12 credits, those behavioral science credits out the way while you're working on your teacher's degree, because having those 12 credits can let you be, a counselor or a social worker or something while you're going to school. So a lot of people study those 12 credits in the beginning, and then
Mm-hmm.
you start focusing on whatever actual subject you want to teach. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? And you focus on all those classes. So you forget about those behavioral science classes, you know what I'm saying? And you're not implementing what you learn and actually practicing it. So when you go out and you live rounds now and you at a high school, and you dealing with these 17-year-olds that got fucking mustaches and beards and
Yeah.
females twerking, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You don't know
Yeah.
how to deal with their issues. You know how to teach
Mm-hmm.
the subject, but you don't know how to teach them to pay attention. If they're not paying attention and they don't want to respect you, they're not listening, you don't know how to do that part. You know what I'm saying? And so then you get the incidents like you see, the people on YouTube, you know what I'm saying, fighting with the kids and shit.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to get a phone up. Well, it's a way that you can get the phone from them. You know what I'm saying? Without having to go there. You know what I'm saying?
It's crazy.
And that just comes from, having that maturity level yourself. A lot of these oh, there she go.
Sorry about that.
Oh, you good, you good.
As you can see, I'm not social media savvy.
Oh, it's all good shit. We learning together.
Right.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying, and that's why, I don't have my offspring on social media. My family isn't on social media.
Yeah.
I mean, all the horror stories that I've heard, oh, why'd you follow her or why did you like his picture? Like who
Yeah.
you have relationship issues just in 3D. Do you really want them over social media?
Right.
And then compound that with your offspring who think that everything on TV is real and that's how it goes, and that's not true.
Yep.
So it's just like
you're right.
it, and don't get me started on corporal punishment. I am the queen. Let my offspring step out of line. Ma, where my hand is gonna be.
Yeah.
Okay? And I would be damned if she wanted to call CPS.
Okay? Small child.
And see, that's the thing about it.
Yeah, like I don't have any time for, okay, this is what you did wrong. We're not gonna, no, my hand is going right on your rump, and we're gonna like that. Mama don't play that.
Punishment, point blank, period. That period.
Yep, pretty much. I don't have time for all of that.
because I just don't see how. My thing is, I'm not gonna allow my child to have any point in their brain as they growing up under me to disrespect me.
Fact.
If you give them any opportunity to do that, just like he was saying, you sit back and you do certain things with your child, you make a child do this, 1 minute you doing this, and they see you doing that, they think it's cool. You gotta have discipline, you gotta have rules, regulations. Kids want that.
Yes, they need structure. You can have a heavy hand until
when you don't give that to them and you allow them to do some things that you know it ain't right.
Correct. Yes, 100.
What do you expect them to do when you tell them to come in the house by 5 o'clock?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Somebody said,
definitely.
Shit is crazy. Flight School 100. Loud Leap said, Ray said, ill mommy is pretty.
Oh, God. Thank you.
Ray said, her crew. Ray, your grandson.
Is that him?
He must have been in the room with.
That must be him, Loud Leap. It's got to be him.
Said she's pretty. But yeah.
Tell him he knows what that is.
But what I was saying, do y'all? She said, yeah, it's Vinny. What I was about to say is, do y'all know how many fucking parents are scared of their kids?
Yeah, man.
In today's times, like on some real.
Man,
how many kids have their parents spooked of them?
Right.
How many parents live in a house where they're fearful of their child?
I'm gonna break him off some property.
It's a lot. I see it daily.
Yeah, a lot. And I'm like, why are you scared of your child? Oh, they're gonna call CPS on me. I wish my little girl would. I wish. Let them come to my house. Tell me how to discipline my child. You don't pay my bills. I pay your salary, motherfucker.
Well, since I'm going to get in trouble and we're going to do all that, we going for show, make it worth it.
Oh, believe me, you will see me on the news. All right? Squeak. All right, Mom? You will see my little fucking brown ass on the news. Okay? If they show up at my house.
That's crazy, but it that's the way it is right now. You have a lot of parents, because they know they've lost control, married with the fact that if they decided to just go ahead and take a stance, they'll probably get in trouble. On top of, some parents don't feel like they have the
willpower,
not the willpower, but the
ability,
not the ability, the right, because you wrong, to sit there and
so they give in to the child because they know they done showed them some other shit, and so the child is looking at mommy
what
and
that
daddy
does,
like, what?
that introduces the disrespect.
Yeah.
When you're doing all that other shit, like I said, you blur the lines. That line that's drawn in the sand, that gets wiped away when you're doing the same shit that your kids is doing. So now that allows for that disrespect to start.
Yeah.
So when the disrespect starts, how do you stop it?
Well,
if you don't stop the behavior.
Well, and one, see, that's what I'm saying. Because when we were young, even though my mother did things, we didn't know a lot of shit she did until we got grown. Right. She didn't let us see that. She didn't know nothing. She didn't expose it to us. Exactly. All we knew is this woman worked very hard. She worked 2 and 3 jobs, and she was raising 9 kids. Mm-hmm. When we got out of line, we got disciplined. Yep. You feel me? We had everything. We never went without eating. We always had clothes. We never begged people. She did everything as a mother and a father. So we never seen that bad side of mama. We never seen mama with shorts up her ass and her titties out and her belly out. We never seen mama drinking and acting a fool on weekends. Right. Yeah. We didn't see none of that shit. We didn't drink and smoke without mama. Right.
No, not at all.
You feel me? So a lot of that, when it stopped, I think it caused a lot of things with kids, you know. Absolutely. You know, and then when you look back on it, you're like, damn, I shouldn't have did that. Or damn, I shouldn't have did that. But then by that time, it's too late.
We'll talk. Well, I think like how you were saying you didn't see mom or you didn't see parents. Same. Well, okay, so my mother was older when she had us, right? We did see her drinking, but she didn't do any of the provocative stuff. But she already had laid that foundation, though. Hey, this is what grown-ups do. This is what mommy does. You don't do it. You don't partake in these activities. You're a kid. You do kid stuff. You have to lay the foundation first. But in conjunction with that, when you're saying, yeah, you know, you're not supposed to do it with the kid, I think it may have been like my generation where we were just like, oh, we are so tired of our parents. You know, when we get over 18, we're going to do it this way and differently. And I have a feeling that that's where it started, you know? And then like my generation was having kids as kids. So while they were still developing, they were having kids. And that's where the line got blurred. Yeah. I really do believe that.
Absolutely.
You know, and now we're paying for it now.
Yep. Yeah. We talked about that earlier. We brought to light as the generations went by, each generation started having children earlier and earlier.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Right? Mm-hmm. And so now fast forward it to even 2 generations past you now.
Right. Right.
2 generations after you now, you got moms now that are having kids at 14.
Yeah.
On a regular. Like it happened during your age, but it was like, you know, here and there, one-offs.
Yeah. It was
15 having a baby.
They got 2 and 3 of them, boys. Be right behind each other.
Super regular.
Yeah.
Whoa.
14, that's regular nowadays, right?
Whoa.
So now, fast forward, 14 years later, you got a 28-year-old that got a 14-year-old.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And now this 14-year-old is on her way to having babies, or a 14-year-old youngster that's gangbanging, selling dope.
That's why I say grandma's don't look like grandma no more.
Yeah, yeah, and that's why I say that, because our generation kind of ruined that. But then I've also been hearing that the generations under me, or the 2-year generation under me, they don't think that monogamy is something that's cool. Like they think it's okay to have babies with people. What?
All them morals and values is out the window with that generation.
Oh yeah. Like, and I was shocked. I was like, wait a minute, I don't want to have a family. I want to have a family. I don't want to have a baby daddy. Like I want the husband and the father and, you know, a family.
But
they don't look at it like that anymore.
No, because I'm gonna tell you something. and I hate to say this, and I'm gonna bring it up because it probably you got to catch it in order to understand it. Just like they removed the fathers from the homes, okay? Women started saying this, and that got daddies not being with them now, and they're single parents because they kept saying, "I don't need no man."
Yeah,
you need it.
true.
You want a family, and you got that because you said, "Okay, this is what I want. This is what I'm gonna have to do to get it."
Okay, I can't let that just slide like that though.
What?
I can't let that just slide like that though.
Why?
Because I hear you and you're right. But that mentality that a lot of women started to have and have in today's time,
that they don't need a man.
Yes, it's not all the way they fault. Because a lot of the women that feel like that, let's just really talk about it. A lot of the women that feel like that are women that are doing it on their own, low income, poor, struggling, trying to make ends meet. And a lot of the women that are in that position, society has put benefits, entitlements in place for them, and they can only reap the benefit of this if the man ain't in the household.
Okay. It may not be just the man though, Squeak. It could just be they make them think that it's the man because there can be a two income household but still be on low income.
There can be, but you're going to have very, very low income with a dual family, right? You're going to have to be under the poverty rate.
Yeah.
They're not promoting. Get you a hardworking man that goes to college and goes off and get a good job and work construction or as an engineer and make $100,000 a year. If you got you a man like that, good for you, girl. But you ain't finna get none of this help over here.
Oh no, that's true.
And you know what? That is actually a contention that I've been talking to my husband about and all of our friends. Because how is it that the hardworking American whose tax dollars go into that, we can't even get that when we're struggling?
Come on, man.
I'm just saying, like, hey, I want $600 in food stamps. Okay, a bitch want to eat. Okay.
That's what I'm saying. So back to the point, for a lot of the women who are in that predicament with these children, right? They are needing to benefit from these certain programs that promote the absentee father in order to get these benefits. Because if you got a father there, most of them, they're not going to be able to have a good job and still reap the benefit. So that's promoting either having a father in a household who has a very, very low income, which is not stimulating.
No.
Or you don't need one in there at all. And the lower your income is, the more benefits you're going to have.
Okay, so but then you also can think of it a different way though too, Squeeze. You can think of it like that, or you can think about it as the government is trying to make our country think that they all need them. That way they can take over everything. And we can just be what's it called? What do they call it? Where like the government rules all. What am I trying to say? You know, like not like Hitler, but you know what I mean?
No,
like China.
I know what you're saying.
A dictatorship.
Thank you. A dictatorship. Yeah, that's exactly what's happening, sis. That's
exactly. So that's why I'm saying. So why don't we just be like, okay, yeah, the benefits are there. Let's Gemmas for those who absolutely need them, but let's let's actually get educated. Let's actually go for that good job that we want, that we know we deserve. You know what I mean? And bring it back to the people. Take back our country.
Exactly. But what I'm saying is the way that society is set up and the way that the government has it in place with those entitlement programs and those beneficial programs, they're not doing that. Right?
Then it would be mind. What is it? Willpower? Willpower. Girl, yes. Have that willpower. Dude, have Absolutely. That willpower.
But what that does is when you constantly put in place benefits, help, resources for someone who's struggling, and in order to have these, you have to have a man in a household who's struggling or no man at all, that's going to put in the mind of the female, I don't need a man. That helps to push that. If I can get these benefits and everything I need to make ends meet without having you in a household or having you in a household with a minimal income, that's going to put in, you know what, to make ends meet, I don't need you. And that's part of that plan that you're talking about. That's what the government wants society to think, especially a lot of the poor single women, which, let's be honest, are the mothers of this youth that's out of control, that's filling up these facilities.
Yeah.
All of it is full circle.
Yeah, it is.
By design.
It is, and I hate to say, and you guys are, and your viewers are probably going to hate me, but it really does go back down to the parents. If you don't have that structure for your children, if you don't have that discipline for yourself and your family, you are the cause.
You are.
I'm sorry, people. I'm sorry, viewers. That's my opinion. Please don't hate me.
Well, I want to say before we get ready to end is that, you know, you guys start looking into the executive laws that's been signed in California for youth, for children. They are able to have they are able to go to their teachers now and leave you out of what they're doing at school. Mm-hmm. They can go without you to their teacher, and their teacher can take them to the school nurse, and they can give them hormone blocker pills. They can give them whatever the fuck they want without you knowing it, leaving you out of the loop. This just been passed, I think it was the end of last year when I read about it. So when you are, you know, with your kids going to school in California, you definitely want to know what they're teaching them.
So I heard that. Then my question becomes, you're going to give my kid a substance without me knowing. How do you know that that substance isn't going to have a negative reaction to my child?
Absolutely right.
And or cause them internal harm that will be long lasting.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so that doesn't. Everybody get involved in their kids' school. If your kids going to school out there, get involved in your kids' school. Find out they teaching them that CRT and all that other bullshit. You want to know.
And across the nation, you know, because we got partners outside of California, just in general. Get more involved. If you got children, especially school-age children, get more involved in your kids' life, their curriculum, their activities, what the school offers, what they're teaching. Read the syllabus. Every teacher should be able to give you a copy of the syllabus of every class that your kid is taking.
And the books.
Yeah, it's on you to ask for it and to read it and understand it.
Yeah.
And they got them sexual.
And if it's anything in that syllabus that you do not agree with, that you don't want your kid learning or exposed to, you got every right to bring it up and to address it. Got to start challenging these motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Yeah. The kids did that state testing thing this past month or whatever, and I told them, no, my daughter will not be participating in that. And I have that right as a parent, and I even printed out all the sections 41B. I don't know what the fuck it was, but I printed it out. I printed out the note, and I was like, she will not be participating.
Right.
Because I don't need her to be stressed about a test that she doesn't even get graded on, and that it doesn't even count towards college. Like, no, I'm okay.
Absolutely.
Cosmo in the room, but
Cosmo, what's up, sis? She said they would be single parents. Oh no, she meant to say they wouldn't be single mothers if the fathers didn't leave. Yes, this is true. Before you came in, we definitely had spoke about the fathers that need to step up and step in. We addressed that earlier. The problem that we were saying though is right now, our youth, boys and girls in the Black community especially, are being raised more so by their mothers and grandmothers, and not to place just all the blame on the mothers, but a lot of the problem as well is not only the absentee fathers, but the mothers that are parenting. A lot of the templates that they are leaving to be traced aren't a great one as a mother. And we were talking about how as time has gone on, the generations of mothers, the age of mothers having children has become younger and younger. And a lot of these youth that's off the hook in between the age of 12 and 16, their mom is in between the age of 26 and 28. And a lot of them are not putting down a positive image for these young men and women to trace after, which just reciprocates that cycle. So we're not blaming one or the other. What we were just talking about is a lot to do with it is what Angel's point that she brought up was that a lot of the women started to go wrong when they had that I don't need a man mentality. And we were talking about how that whole thing is by design. You know, the fathers being out of the home back in the 50s and 60s when they started the entitlement programs under Theodore Roosevelt. You know, a lot of that, you could not have a father in the household for parents to be able to benefit from the welfare and the different programs of that time. And it's still like that now, you know, like Ilmami made the point that you can still get some of those benefits with the father in the household. Yeah, but that's going to have to be a father in the household who makes a very
little bit of money. Yeah, because as soon as you make a certain amount, they're going to cut your ass off.
The whole mindset of that benefit being available is letting you know that we either don't want a man in the household, or if there's a dual income and there is a man in the household, that his household has to be very, very minute.
Yeah.
And so that does over time, especially with these younger women who don't have the same values as women from back in the day, that starts to implant a mindset of, in order to make ends meet, I don't need
something real quick. Cosmo won't come in.
She should be in. Can you hear us, Cosmo?
She's on mute.
You gotta unmute your mic, Cosmo. Oh, she came out now.
She's about to try it again.
Come back in.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's definitely, you know, in today's time, you got to think about today's time, today's problem.
Mm-hmm.
These young kids that's 11, 12, 13, 14, going on these robbing sprees and stuff. Where are their parents at?
Right.
Their mom and dads. And the majority of them are being raised by their moms or their grandparents. And a lot of their grandparents and grandmothers, because that cycle has been going on, grandma is only 38, 42. I'm just keeping it real.
Yeah, did you? I came in late, but did you guys in your discussion earlier, were you touching upon the amount of children one household has? Because that also plays a huge part.
No, we didn't. we didn't touch on that. But we touched on it in the light of where if there's one having a problem in the household, it affects the entire household, because now if that child has to go through some type of alternative learning, homeschooling, or whatever, it's going to affect the dynamics of the whole house. So once one of those youth get, put on paperwork or placed in a facility like that, it not only affects that child, now the parents are going to be affected. The other siblings in the household will be affected.
Yeah.
Parents still got to make ends meet and feed the other kids. A lot of parents aren't in a position where they can afford to homeschool you. I can't take off from work because you got behavior issues.
Yeah.
What's up, Cosmo? You in the building?
Yeah. Hey, y'all.
Hey, what's up?
Hey.
I have a question for Beans up here.
Yeah.
As a teacher, right?
Oh.
I want to know, why would you not allow your child to go take the state test? This is very, very beneficial to her.
Oh, I had stated that I didn't need her to have the added stress of what the school was trying to make it out to be. She doesn't get graded on it, and it doesn't go on any of her transcripts.
Hmm.
Who told you that?
I read it on I think it was that website, the teacher board website or something like that. It'd take too long to pull it up.
Are you in California?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, yeah, because the state test is important because it helps the school district understand what the teacher is doing or not doing. It helps them understand how the students are grasping the various curriculums. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I did read that. However, I don't agree personally.
I hate to butt in. I'm gonna try to get back to it, but on a side note, Cosmo, do you think that actually can get achieved by the state if the test is standardized?
Yeah, of course it can, because if the student is marks above, okay, because you have like below average, above average, you know what I'm saying? There's different rankings for it. I can't think of them all right now, but if a student is above, what the particular school will do with those test scores is move that student, especially if the parent is involved, and because typically they'll mail to the home the results of the test, okay, so that the parent can see where their child is at. And I feel that as a parent, you should want to know how your child is doing in school, and the standardized test is what's going to help you understand that. So if they are really smart and they score above average, you can skip them above grades. You can put them into honor roll and magnet schools.
I understand that side of it and what you're saying with that, but I'm in education and have been for the last 20 years. And I can attest to that's not true. Those standardized state tests do not depict a person's intelligence level. First and foremost.
That's not what I said. I said grasping the curriculum.
Right, but the curriculum, first off, the curriculum that's taught on those standardized tests don't always match what's being actually taught at that school.
Correct.
That's right. That's one of the reasons why it needs to be done. So if that teacher is ineffective, then there's a problem.
If the curriculum at the school doesn't match up with what's being presented on the test, that doesn't mean that the school or that teacher isn't being effective, because it's the goal to educate the student so that they are equipped and understand a certain subject matter so they'll
Basic
succeed?
concepts.
Or is
Basic
it to
concepts.
make sure that the state is appeased and says that they are passing on a certain level?
No, see, y'all, see, this is the thing, right? I am a certified teacher. I have a teaching credential, okay? And the thing with a lot of people who don't have these credentials, they don't understand how this all works. There's all these, everything is not a conspiracy.
Nobody said
It does not, right? But I'm saying this, I'm just saying, I'm just saying.
Common sense and being parents and being educators in education.
Right, but you should want to know. I mean, this is my opinion. You should, and that's what we're up here doing. We're up here giving our opinion. So what you should want to do is know how your child is doing in the school. How do they test? And listen, your child may be super advanced, right? And they may be a very poor test taker. These type of situations will help you determine that. So why deny them of that? You understand? That's my point.
But also on the flip side, because I deal with it in schools every day, you could also have a student who absolutely nails the test. They're test takers, but they can't retain the information, let alone go around and apply it.
That's incorrect. That's impossible for it to even happen. Let me tell you how. They don't even know we can't both talk at the same time.
At my job every day,
we cannot both talk at the same time. I have administered these tests before, dude. I have administered them before, meaning for students that may have a disability or students that can't read them themselves, like particularly elementary school students, someone needs to administer them to them, okay? So with that being said, I have administered these tests. I have seen what is on these tests before, okay? And that what you just said is inaccurate, all right?
No, it's not.
It just is.
That's
yes,
your experience with a state test. What I'm telling you is when it comes to testing, some students are brilliant at taking the test, but
that doesn't make sense because in order for them to pass the test, they will have to retain the information. So what you're saying doesn't make sense.
You can remember something, but not actually go out and apply it. You can take
listen, wait.
Excuse me?
No, listen to me. Because you're trying to let me finish my point.
You had your turn to talk. Let me talk. Okay? We go let each other talk.
Go ahead.
What I experience weekly, because we have people testing weekly, Thursdays, to get certified for their license to be certified technicians to operate on aircraft. We have students who take these final tests. They've memorized this material top to bottom. They pass the test. They get their certification, but they cannot be gainfully employed because they do not know how to go and apply the tests that they pass.
Okay, but see, we're talking about two different things. That's the conflict here.
No,
you're not. Talking about, yes, it is. You're talking about job training and people having a study guide. You're not letting me talk. You're not letting me talk. You're not letting me talk. You're not even letting me finish my point, though.
It's the standard.
You're not even letting me finish my point. How can I respond if you're not letting me finish it? You understand? You're not letting me finish. I just let you say what you had to say.
Okay, I'm trying to understand you because you're trying to tell me
where you can't understand me if you keep cutting me off and won't let me finish. You understand?
How is it different?
I'm trying to explain it if you would let me get it out without being cut off.
Please explain.
Thank you. Okay. So you're talking about adults, all right? Or older, maybe young adults, whatever the case may be. You're talking about it sounds to me like you're talking about job training. I'm talking specifically.
There's no age limit. You can be from 17.
Okay, you keep cutting me off. You're not even letting me finish my statement.
You're trying to assume things that I'm saying. I'm not going to allow for you to do that.
Okay, so then let me finish then. You don't even know what I was going to follow up with and say. You're not letting me finish
You
my.
sound like you have a problem being corrected. I'm going to correct you when you say something wrong.
Okay, but you corrected me. Now let me finish. Like that, I'm just want you to let me finish.
Okay,
you know what I'm saying? I don't care about you correcting me. I want to finish my statement. That's all I'm trying to do. Okay. All right. So I'm talking specifically about K-12. All right.
Okay.
And these students, okay, they may do particular assignments to prepare them for it, but the questions themselves, the teachers are not, we don't know what's gonna be on these tests every single time. You understand what I'm saying? We just don't know. Some teachers administer them, some don't. It depends on the grade level. It depends on the need of the student, the particular need, the individual need of each student. You understand what I'm saying? So with that being said, in order for a student to be able to pass this test, they would have had to have retained the information presented to them all semester long in order to pass the test. So what I'm saying is we're definitely talking about two different things here, because you're talking about what it sounds to me like you're saying that they're receiving a study guide of some sort, or they're just packing in particular information so that they can hurry up and pass this test. And then once they pass it, it all goes away. Of course that happens, but in the K-12 setting, they had to have known this information. It had to have been stored in their memory bank in order for them to pass these standardized tests. That's what I'm saying.
And
Cosmo, can I ask you 2 questions?
Yeah, sure.
Well, first, I read on that teacher website thing, government, whatever, that it's not a pass or a fail. It's just to see where they are or where the teacher, stands with how they're teaching. Is that true? Yes or no?
Yeah, that's true. They can't like it I mean, okay.
Okay. And then the second question is that
well, let me
obviously
say this about the pass or the fail. So with the pass or fail, if your student scores like below average, they're not gonna like fail whatever grade it is that they're testing for. You understand what I'm saying? No,
Yes.
but that is a fail. That's still a fail though. It's not labeled that, but that's a fail. They're below. They're not even grasping anything.
Okay. And then the second question is that us older generation folks, obviously we're taught different than this weird new crap curriculum that they have going on in the schools. So if we're teaching our offspring how we were taught and they're getting taught this new way, but when they're testing, it's easier for them to do it the old school way, and then they do the test, but it's all new school, and they score lower even though they know the material. How is that what's it called? What am I trying to say? How is that productive, I guess?
How is it preventive?
No, how is it productive? Like, how can the people who rate these tests really know how a certain child is, academically, if they were taught the old school way and it's harder for them to learn and then regurgitate this new school way? You know what I mean?
Because it's based on how they are taught at school, not how you are teaching them. It's based on how they are retaining the information that their teacher is presenting to them on a daily basis via a lesson plan. It's not about you. If you want to be that involved, then you need to homeschool your child and administer your own standardized tests. You understand? Other than that, it's based on how the district is teaching them. You see?
Yeah, and I get that. I fully get that, Cosmo. However, this new what is this new thing called? I forgot. It has like the new math and the new way of doing the curriculum. I forgot what it was called.
I don't know what you're talking about. What do you mean new?
That new school teaching.
I know what you're saying.
The Common Core. Thank you. My husband reminded me this Common Core curriculum, to me, it is taught, I feel, it is taught in a way that it's for kids who struggle learning the old school way. And not all kids are raised, you know, learning. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
I hear you.
so I don't think that those tests are accurate. I don't think that they're fair. And I don't believe that this Common Core is good for every child.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes total sense. And you know what? There's other parents that say that too. I know exactly what I understand you totally. And you're entitled to that. I'm not even saying that you're wrong or anything like that. I'm just saying that the test can be beneficial in helping this parent and the school's district understand how the students are retaining the information, which then falls back on the school, because then they can use this information, which what most of them do. They use this information to tweak their curriculum and say, wow, students in this particular area or in this particular school or in this particular grade, whatever the case may be, they're going below average in their scores. Why is that? Let's figure out why, and let's try to find a way to fix it. That's what the test is really about. And if you're not allowing your students,
I got a question for you, Cosmo. What happens?
Can you hold on 1 second?
Mm-hmm.
Y'all got a hot topic.
Yeah, I'm just curious to know that if they actually do, review those tests, and if the majority of the kids are actually testing and comprehending it the old school way, are they going to stop the Common Core? You know what I mean?
Right. Because at the end of the day, as long as you are, where Cosmo go? I want her back on. Because my question, and I'm going to ask when she get back in, my question is, as long as the students are passing their units and they are passing grades, and this test does not prevent them from graduating or moving on to the next level of education.
Correct.
What happens if the school district has very poor standardized test scores, but they have high graduation rates?
That is a conundrum.
Where is she at? Because what I'm is that the push for the standardized testing somehow, some way, and I'm going to research it, is connected to the money.
You 100%. And Squeak, it does say on that website that I was referring to everything about that, and I can send it to you too. I have it bookmarked.
Where you at, Miss Cosmo? Please join the room again. Because if students are passing their classes, the actual curriculum in the classroom, they're graduating, but they score poorly on these standardized tests. And that doesn't prevent them from going to the next level of school. What happens to the district that continues to have poor standardized tests? She say they tweak the curriculum, but I got a feeling that that's going to have something to do with your budgeting as well. That's why they push you to take it and to pass it.
Yeah, and that's the thing, is that when I called my daughter's school and I said, I don't want her participating in this, the first thing they told me was, are you sure? Because the district is going to lose money.
Oh, don't play with me.
Come on. We gonna have
for every child that doesn't show up and take that test, they lose money. It's on their website.
It's just like I just said about your kid going to school. It's the same thing I just said about your kid going to school.
Have you?
Is that they get money?
Correct, Mom.
Have you been on Cosmo? Have you been continuing to hear?
No, I had to step away for a second.
Okay. So right before you was finna leave, and we had been discussing it, my question was, so in the situation where you have a district where kids are scoring under, below, however they rate it in certain grades, subjects, whatever. However, the kids are passing the classes. And this test does not prevent them from moving to the next level of education, whether it be the next grade, elementary to junior high, so on and so forth. They're able to graduate high school no matter what. What happens if a district has a repetitive amount of failures on the state test, but they have a high graduation rate?
So that's a brilliant question. First of all, that's a really good question. Secondly, okay, so how can I put this? You're absolutely correct. You're absolutely, and I could give an example of what you're saying, but I don't want to because I don't like to give too much personal information on the internet, and I suggest none of you do that as well. Keep your business to yourself. Don't tell nobody nothing. But anyway, just like me telling you my career was too much right there. But anyway, I'm gonna say this, right? Yes, there are, I'm not even gonna say districts, but let's take it down to the school where there's a lot of below average scores, and then the students are still graduating. I mean, that's a totally different matter. They do not go together, although they should. I agree with you on that, but they don't. The standardized testing is about the curriculum.
So then,
and well, let me finish.
Okay, go ahead.
So the standardized testing is about the curriculum. If the teacher is passing the student, although they do not need to be passed, they don't deserve to pass, I guess, if you want to say that. That's the teacher's problem now. Something is wrong with the teacher's lesson plans. Something is wrong. Let me tell you a story without getting too personal. I've worked with teachers in impoverished schools, okay, that did not teach. They literally would print off packets, staple them together, and hand them to the classroom. They did not do lessons or anything like that. And these people, you know, had great job security and had been doing that for years and years and years and years and years, honey. Okay. Is that fair to the child? Absolutely not. Is it discouraging to teachers that actually get up and talk and make them read and write on the board and, you know, really engage them? Yes, it is. But the principal now, see, there's levels to this, right? Like a pyramid almost, right? So the principal now has to be the one to say, you know what? Our standardized testing was really bad in math, but you're passing all of your math students with A's and B's. What's going on here? You know, that's what this is all. It's not, everyone's putting it on the district, but you have to understand that there's levels to it. You see, let's narrow it down to a specific school, and then let's narrow it down to a specific teacher and a specific subject, so that it makes more sense.
Okay. But big picture wise, right? Because we're talking about this being affecting our youth or an entire state, right? And it's a standardized test. So we kind of got to look at it from an overview, right? Now, when it comes to these standardized tests, do the results in any way, shape, form, or fashion have any type of monetary bearing? So the better the results, maybe the more funding may go towards a certain district or school.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And not even just the district, Squeak, but the school.
Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
No, you go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, my bad. Because no, absolutely, absolutely. They definitely. There's like, okay, like for example, where I teach at, well, and that's too much, but with some school districts, in the particular school in that district, the schools that have really high scores, they have really high, really good standardized testing, a lot of times they'll make those schools like magnet or like blue ribbon schools. You see what I'm saying? And they'll pour money into them. Absolutely. You're absolutely correct.
So with that being a known fact, that the better a school or a district does when it comes to the test scores, then I could see that becoming somewhat of an agenda within the K through 12 education system, because it's we're talking dollars and cents. And so now if you have a parent like Ilmani Beans that says, I don't want to partake in this type of testing, and now that we've come to the conclusion, we can all agree that the test does not necessarily determine if you pass or fail your class. It has no bearing on you being able to move through the education system. And it's not anywhere on your transcript, so it won't have any bearing on the type of college you're going to get in. It's not like UCLA is going to say, oh, you scored 100 on your reading and your state standardized test. Oh, this girl over here scored 90. We're going to let her in, let you in, not her, right? So we all know that. So when you have a parent who has discourse against it or doesn't want to partake in it from just those three factual standings alone, you could see why there will be many parents like that that feels that way. And especially if you break it down and you have an understanding that at the end of the day, the results of this test, not only, is to see where my student is at when it comes to obtaining the curriculum, even though obviously the curriculum that they're being taught doesn't necessarily have to match up to this test, because they can test poorly and still pass. So the curriculum on the two, and even you said that, doesn't always match up, right? So that even makes the test a little less valid. The validity decreases in my mind, right? So outside of that, to know that the better you do on this test and the more people take this test, the more money comes our way.
That's how I feel
that. For a parent to not feel that, or for all parents not to be feeling that,
I mean,
education have an issue with that?
Yeah, we're all entitled to our opinions and everything, and I respect people's opinions, but this is a podcast, and one thing that keeps podcasts interesting is when we have different, opinions. That's why I like On Point Media, because you guys allow everybody to come have people to come different opinions. But I'm gonna have to disagree with you. I'm gonna have to disagree with you and Beans, because I feel like if her child is gonna be going to a public school, or it could be a private school, I don't care. If the standardized test is involved in your child's path from here all the way to high school, let them do that, because at least as a parent, you'll know if your child is a really good test taker or not, right?
Well, Cosmo, wouldn't I know that by just the regular test that they take during school? Because they get tested during school.
But listen, let me tell you another benefit, right? Thank you for even saying that, because you just reminded me of something I forgot. I left this out, right? This would also tell you if that school is the best fit for your child. Because let's say if you know that your child is an A student, but they really got like a C or they got below average. So they're coming home with A's and B's, and you know that they're smart and intelligent. That's your child. You know your child. But then they take the standardized test, and then you get the results, and it's like, oh, she's below average. Now that's going to make you question the teacher. So that's why you should go ahead and let them take this, because now something's wrong with the teacher then.
No, okay, now wait a minute. Hold on.
You know your child's smart though. And you know your child is above average. I'm gonna be like, to hell with that test. My child is smart. I know they smart. And they doing their work at school and they passing everything because I'm watching and looking at their homework and knowing that they obtaining and maintaining the information. Fuck that test.
Yeah, but like I was going to say though, Cosmo, as well, it still goes back to that Common Core is not for every child.
Yeah, for sure.
So if that test is based off the Common Core, and say like my child, because I even told my child's teacher, hey, my child has grown up with the old school style of learning, and you guys are pushing this Common Core. Yeah. And I finally got it with my child's teacher, that as long as she can show her teacher, that she knows the Common Core, she can do it the old school way. And I told my daughter's teacher, yeah, that's fine with me, but that she knows the material in every subject that you're teaching. And she goes, oh, absolutely. So you get what I'm saying? So my child could score low on that standardized test, but that's because it's taught in the Common Core way. Now, had it have been taught, or had it been structured in the old school way, boom, she would be above average for sure. You see what I'm saying? So I don't want my child to get discouraged because
I feel you.
Because it's not structured in the way where she can excel. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel you. I mean, listen, man, you, at the end of the day, it's your child. You're going to do what you feel is best. I personally, allowed my child and would suggest to other parents to allow their child or children to take those tests, because I understand the depth of it. You understand? And so I understand the importance of it at the end of the day for the curriculum. And it may not take into effect. It may take it's not like it just happens the next year. Oh, we're going to change the curriculum. Listen, these too many schools are going. No, it may take 5 to 10 years or something for them to finally change things up. But the point is, this is all data being collected to help the embetterment of those students at the end of the day, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I hear you.
And it boils down to the principal, because there's a lot of principals that they don't give a damn. They're there for that 6-figure check. They don't care.
Yeah, well, just like I told Squeak while you were gone, though, when I called my child's school and was like, hey, I don't want my child taking this test, the first thing they told me was, well, for every student that's not in the chair, we lose money. That's the first thing that they told me.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I said, I really don't care. I support the school other ways monetarily. So, what'd you say, Squeak?
I said, now that's gangster.
Oh, believe me, I went out there.
Everything is about damn money. The fuck, y'all surprised? Everything is about money. You thought the school wasn't making money? The hell? Of course they are.
I'm aware. That's why I'm putting what they putting down. Angel said, what y'all talking about? She been asleep for the last 46 minutes.
Well, it also, Squeak, if you think about it, it's also like, okay, so say like those kids do score poorly on that standardized test, right? But they're doing great throughout the year. And then the parents get that and they're like, why did you fail this? And blah, blah, blah. That could actually hurt their self-esteem. Yeah, exactly. And turn them into one of those bad kids that your show is initially about.
Averages, but I'm a B student.
Yeah, and that could cause them to go off the wire and be bad, like how you've been talking about,
Yeah. Well, we finna go on and close it, end it. We did 2 episodes in one.
We're not coming on this week.
Goddamn, 2.5 hours, goddamn it.
We ain't coming on next week. We're gonna split this up too.
We gave y'all 2 episodes. Yeah, we're
gonna split it up.
The youth in one, and then goddamn school districts are a whole nother topic.
Yeah.
But thank y'all for coming in, man. We appreciate everybody. Thank y'all, man. We really appreciate y'all, man. This was a hot topic. Everybody came in. We appreciate y'all sliding through, the people that joined. We had a lot of guests tonight. It was popping. This was a popping episode. I told you it was gonna be popping. Man, y'all gotta tune in, subscribe, like, comment, share. Make sure y'all like and share that thing. Let everybody know about y'all folks podcast, because we only going up from here. And like y'all said,
let them know we're the only podcast that's live. We don't edit nothing.
And we let everybody come in and talk their shit. We go agree to disagree. When we got our differences of opinions, but that's what makes the show. That's what makes us on point. You know what I'm saying? Is us bringing our different perspectives to the table and being able to be adults and talk about it. Feel me? All right, man. I'm your boy Squeaky Leak the Entertainer, man. I love y'all.
I'm your sleepy angel, Angel Larry, missing. Ready to go.
All right.
All right, guys.
Love y'all. Man. We out.